Yeah. What's up, everybody? Tuesday night. Click that like button. Let me get this thing started in just a minute. Everybody click that like button. We got lots of info on Michael Cole and his podcast today. Plus, Ricky Saints debut. Yikes. Yeah. You like that? Yep. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing tonight? We got some info to talk about. It was hard to listen to for me, but I did listen to the whole thing. Years ago, I've been fascinated to listen to Michael Cole talk about wrestling, but it is hard for me to get through it because it's like stabbing myself in an open wound on purpose so that I can react to it. I really like Michael Cole. I really like the podcast. I thought Logan Paul was good. It's funny because Logan Paul, a lot of these guys claim to be like, big wrestling guys, or they can't believe they're there or whatever. But they're really there because of how big the company is and the spectacle, and that they kind of liked it. It's so cool at one point, they thought. But they're not like big wrestling fans, like fanatics or fans of it. They're just like, they're like mainstream fans of it, and they get to do it. You can tell by listening to Logan Paul that he knows a lot about stuff, but he also doesn't know a lot about stuff. There's things that Cole brings up that well, Logan Paul didn't even know about these things from 10, 15 years ago and even more. But some of it he did know about, so it's weird. Whereas I sit there listening to it and I think to myself, damn, I know all this. I could have, I didn't need to be told any of this stuff. It's just funny. I'm like, wow, that's how much of a dink I am that I know this much history. But it is what it is, man. And we finally got the information on Corey Graves, which is basically kind of what we thought, which is what I said after the news came out. I was like, well, I think Corey was kind of pissed, and then he figured, well, I'll just play a heel and tweet this out. And then when they confronted him about it and he got in trouble about it, he was like, oh man, no, I was just trying to play into it and go in there hot, you know what I mean? I almost, it's hard to find out if he really was serious or not. I think he was, and then it blew up too big, and then he had to be like, I was kidding. But I think he was kidding and he wasn't. I think he was trying to generate buzz. Since I'm going to be going somewhere else, I'm going to generate some buzz before I go there. But in honesty, he was really pissed off as well. So I think he doubled down on two different things. And then I think he got called on it. And then he was like, oh, no, I was being like heel, like, you know, as I go down there, everybody's going to be talking about what does Corey mean? Like, what's going on? And they were like, yeah, we don't believe you. And take a timeout. And then I think that's what happened. You got to be smarter than that. Like, what are you doing? You know? It's like Triple H probably said something like that. So that's what it seems like. And that's basically what they said. But we'll play the clip. But I mean, that's what Cole said. You know, it's something that Corey Graves did. The company believes that he was being serious, or at least trying to get away with being serious. And Corey Graves was trying to say, well, no, I was, you know, just playing that character, working it out, trying to generate the buzz. So we'll talk about that, play the clip, and get into that maybe a little bit more. Plus, Ricky Saints debuted in NXT tonight. Ricky Saints. Could have been Saint Ricky. I don't know. That could have been better, maybe. Maybe not, though. Maybe not. Got on here a little bit later than I wanted to, but here we are. If you are in the chat, though, feel free to click that like button and stick the thumb all the way up there.
Come on out, you rapist!
Oh, yeah, baby. Call him out, Vince. Ladies and gentlemen, Drew Bar, 162 months in a row as a member. That is absolutely incredible. 62 freaking months as a member. That is just absolutely unbelievable type of support from Drew Bar. Thank you to Drew Bar for 62 months. That's wild, dude. That's crazy. What is that? 36? It's like over 5 years? Is that real? I didn't even know we had memberships that long. 62 months straight as a YouTube member. And I believe they were called something else. They weren't called members. They were called something else. Like, I don't know, premium sub, or they were called something else. I don't remember what it was. But thank you either way, man. Michael Cole was great. Yeah, it was hard to listen to for me because I just love, commentary so much. I always had you picture yourself. I'm not going to go into this whole thing, but I always had this dream that I was going to get to WWE and Vince McMahon was going to be like, hell yeah, or maybe he would yell at me. I don't know, but either way, Vince would, I would say, like, you don't understand to get here, Vince McMahon, and have maybe Vince give me a little pat on the back, looking for that dad. Maybe Michael Cole would too, That's kind of what I always thought, Michael Cole, man, that'd be great. Get in there. Instead, I got told Michael Cole heard my commentary and he couldn't believe all the swearing. I'm like, you didn't hear my commentary. You heard my fucking YouTube channel. But just like, so it's hard to listen to, man. It's hard to listen to people talk about commentary and stuff like that because that's all it's all I ever want to do, and it's like can't do it. So it's hard to listen to other people talk about how great it is and how it's going, and I just signed a big contract and I'm gonna retire as this. It's like, I actually want Michael Cole's life. I realized I don't want mine. I want Michael Cole's. Like, this is not good. You should not be, like, you know what? If you're out there and you're a kid and you're dreaming, do not, whatever you do, to be successful by the time you're 45 years old, right? Which I'm not 45 yet. I'm 39. But by the time you're 45, you want to be able to say, fuck no, I don't want anybody else's life. I want this one. My career. Well, I don't feel that way. So, but you know what? I got it figured out, guys. I know what to do to solve this problem. I took out $2 million worth of insurance, right? And I know what you're saying. Joe, how can you afford to take out $2 million of insurance when you just lost your job? Well, I'll tell you exactly how. I took it out weeks ago, and I already made the first 3 payments, so it's still good to go for another 3 months or so. And with all of the plane issues that are going on all over the place, guys, I am going to start flying cheap flights back and forth every single day as a runner for a company. And they're going to pay me, it's not a lot of money. It's $18 an hour or whatever. But I'm going to have to take 2 or 3 flights a day to run these things back and forth and do these things. It's going to be amazing. Now, it's a terrible job. It's not really a job, and quite honestly, I'm going to lose everything either way. But I've got a great plan. I took out all that insurance, and the chances of me dying in a fucking plane crash now with all the plane stuff going on is really high, really high. And I took out all kinds of insurance. So I'm going to gamble my life and my livelihood over the next 3 months. Within the next 3 months, I have to die in a plane crash. And if I do die in a plane crash, folks, let me tell you something. My family is set for life, and I consider it a success. I consider my life a success when I die on a plane in the next 3 months. And they get to collect the insurance money. It's going to be unbelievable. And I think you get double or triple because you died on a business trip. At least I thought I learned that in Fight Club back in the day. I'm not 100%, but I think so. So my family's going to be set as long as I die in those 3 months. But that's going to be like, 3 months times 25. That's 50, 75 times 3 flights a day. We're talking about hundreds of flights. There's a good chance one of those fuckers is going to go down, okay? So we'll see what happens. We'll keep an eye on that, and I'll let you know. But if I don't die, well, then we're all just going to be bankrupt, and I'll be alive and a loser. But we'll see what happens. We're going to talk about Michael Cole on the Impulsive Logan Paul podcast. And especially, we talked about the Corey Graves stuff. We'll come back to it in a few minutes. And tonight, Ricky Saints, debuted in NXT. And he is about the same way he was in AEW so far to me. I don't know about you guys, but this Revolution stuff needs to stop. And he's still doing it in NXT. Now, Ethan Page, he turned out pretty goddamn good. Ethan Page turned out pretty good, man. Let me tell you, but that Ricky Saints stuff, I don't know. Is it going to work out? Do they put him in the ring with a tiny midget guy, Wes somebody, so that he could appear to be bigger? I like that idea, though, because that did help out a little bit. To be honest.
You rapist!
J-Swiss just re-upped the membership again. An OG. You talk about 62 months from Drew Bar 100. J-Swiss working his way up there as well with 22 months in a row. But I know that J-Swiss has been around for a long time. So, shout out to J-Swiss. Brother. Thank you, sir. Love you.
Come on out, you rapist!
Got another member dropping. Another re-up membership. Don't forget to re-up if you guys want to or can. Chief Wahoo. Ricky is from New Orleans, so I kind of get it. Ricky Saints. Yeah. Well, he's going to get sued by the New Orleans Saints. How about that? Chief Wahoo, thank you so much. That's 28 months in a row. 28 huge months in a row from Chief Wahoo. How about that?
Hey, Bullfrog is a moron.
Scissor me, Joe!
Peter Eater, or Eater Peter, which is the real Dork Knight? Or fuck D Welsh. I agree with Peter molested Peter by Eater Peter the Moleskin Peter Eater, and Peter had sex with Aunt Lisa Cronin.
Okay. All right, Peter. I mean, that's a lot of Peters. You keep saying Peter, it's bound to turn me on eventually, so we'll see if I can keep it in my pants. I don't know. God, that turned me on. Why would you do that to me when I'm live? You would really come in here and, turn me on like that? God damn. I mean, really, bro. That is fucking crazy that you would do that. Now I'm aroused. What am I supposed to do now that I'm aroused? Thanks a lot. Thanks for turning me on. We like you, though. That sounds morbid, Joe. Yeah, it does sound morbid, doesn't it? Let's see what else we got in the chat real quick before I look back at what I wanted to look at, which is Ricky Starks. Let's play a little bit of this. The revolution thing, I don't get it. Stop doing it. That's what I would say. I don't know what this is. NXT ended with, I don't know what this is. Brian Austin tweeted me, said, oh, great, so WWE is copying AEW, now Shield 2.0 versus Death Riders. Oh, my God, it's so bad. That is so bad.
What the? Oh my
God, that is so bad. NXT ended in a very unfortunately cringy way. Boy, it's like some like kid who's booking wrestling. You know what I mean? Like bad, like wrestling fiction, or like the girls that wrote Twilight are in charge of a wrestling company or something like that. That's what that reminds me of. Yikes. The way NXT went off the air. Oh, God. I mean, it's bad. I'm sorry. I don't. That's not very good. That's just not good. That looks really bad on TV. I don't know who likes that, but that was bad. Oh my God, Stone. No one is safe. Like, if Lance Archer, you know how I was making fun of Lance Archer, the Murder Hawk, the other day? If Lance Archer could be a 15 or 30-second segment of a wrestling show, if Lance Archer, everybody dies. Everybody dies. If Lance Archer could be a 30-second scene in a wrestling show, it would be this. It would be this. A guy laying on the ground perfectly, and all the stuff's beat up everywhere, and I guess Antifa beat him up. This is like a high school acting, like, bad 10-minute short.
What the hell?
Oh, my God. Oh, my God, that's bad. That's literally like Lance Archer as a segment. Joe, look for the clip where Ricky Saints is walking in the hallway and all the NXT talents are in the floor laying down, and he says, "What's wrong with this place?" Okay, I mean, I watched it. I thought I missed that part maybe. I watched a little bit of NXT tonight, and it was not good to me. That it was not good. I'm going to be honest. It wasn't good. Vengeance was good. I thought Vengeance was pretty good. But this has not been great. What are you talking about? This is terrible. I mean, what?
It's okay.
Am I missing something here?
Damn, this place is crazy.
Oh, boy. I mean, dude, I don't get it. How many times what are they talking about? What do you mean no one is safe? Like, what is going on? What is this? The Reckoning? Yeah, what is this? Shield? Like, we've done this so many times. Like, no one is safe. Dude, it feels like the Murder Hawk Lance Archer is coming to AEW. I mean, coming to NXT. Because that no one is safe on the side of the wall is something he would think is cool. And then you know what it's going to say? No one is safe on the wall in big red letters. Wow, that's so cool. Hey, check out my tramp stamp. Everybody dies. Except someone stole my truck. And I don't know how to stop it. Dude, Lance Archer, like being an idiot, it was more entertaining than that. That was not good. I mean, it's kind of funny. That's kind of funny. And Stark's saying, like, what's up with this place in the back is kind of funny. I just can't believe we're doing one of these sort of stories again, or angles again, or whatever you want to call it. But, I mean, that part was good.
Around here.
Funniest part. I was looking for it. This is the funniest part, bro. He clotheslines Wesley. This is really funny. You guys know this about me. One of my favorite things in the world is when something happens but there's still part of it is being done off to the side and the camera catches it in frame, probably on purpose. Oh my God, bro. Ricky Starks takes out Wesley, clotheslines him out of the ring. Boom. See you later. And then the funniest goddamn thing ever, as he turns to sign the contract, and as he's signing the contract, in the background, the security shows up, and Wesley's getting his bearings together. Wesley is like, I'm going to come back in the ring, but the other referees or security show up to hold him back, and the whole time Ricky Starks is just Ricky Saints is signing his contract, and Wesley can't get back in the ring. That kills me. That's really funny. Say what you want. That's funny. Ricky Saints. When the Saints go marching in. And then, of course, the big guy from TNA tonight, our buddy. Almost had him on the show back in November, but I had something to do, and we haven't hooked up since then. But he's the man, baby. He's there. He's Moose in NXT. To face down the NXT champ. Moose in NXT. So if you watched NXT tonight, you might have thought it was all right. Maybe it was.
Himself. Welcome to NXT.
Okay. So Ricky Saints debuts about the same, in my opinion, as he was in the other place. So we'll see what he does going forward, what happens going forward. Although they really didn't call him, did they even call him Ricky Saints? They wrote Ricky Saints on the contract, but they didn't really write it. They didn't really say it, did they? I'm not sure. I don't think they did they? I know that it's on the contract, and they zoomed in on that to show you what his name was, because they haven't been saying his name at all. But let's go back to the Corey Graves situation. We did talk about it, but people weren't in here yet when we did, so let's go back into the Corey Graves situation a little bit.
She understands too. Like, we live in Texas, love San Antonio,
and then we'll talk about it. Michael Cole was great, by the way, on the Logan Paul podcast.
Why? Because the paycheck?
Oh, the paycheck's part of it, but the new regime had a lot to do with it. But when I went forward with it, and I don't think the company saw. Here
it is.
To my guy Corey Graves.
That's a strange situation. I love Corey.
Me too.
Love him to death. I still don't understand all the dynamics of it. I know that he sent something out on social media that was pretty critical of the company. He tried to explain to everyone that he was trying to generate some interest in maybe a type of a storyline. I don't think the company saw. I don't think the company saw it that way.
It was not a work,
right? And
it was a shoot.
Yes,
allegedly.
Allegedly,
Oh,
but so and again, I think him and the company are working that out. I love Corey to death. He's an unbelievable commentator. Beside McAfee, he's probably the best partner I've ever had.
Dude, you guys are like such a good duo to me, and I personally love Corey as well.
Yep.
He's a great person, but I also think his work is fantastic.
Yeah.
I seriously have like a very special spot in my heart for commentators because
Okay. So there you go. We talked about it. It is kind of what everybody thought. He was grumpy, tweeted it out, thought he could kind of like play it off as, well, no, I'm going to drum up some intrigue because I'm going to NXT. That's what I'm doing. But it was really him being pissed off, but thinking, well, I could probably get away with it by saying that. And then they came to him, and then he was like, "Oh yeah, it was that. I was just trying to drum up, some shit when I go down there." And they were like, "Yeah, we don't think so. We think that was like you being a prick." And then he was like, "Oh." So it was something like that. So I don't know. It is what it is. And that's what it is. What's up, Mastodon? Can't wait for Holyfield to be on NXT. Yeah, that's right, because his dad and son. We could have a nice little tag team for dad and son, the Holyfields. Garbage promo. Yeah, it wasn't good. Wasn't good. Ethan Page in AEW might have been a 6 out of 10, and Ricky Starks might have been a 4 out of 10. But in NXT, Ethan Page is like a 7 or 8 out of 10. But Ricky Starks still looks like that 4. like hopefully he gets better. I hope he does. But I told you I can't say anything because I thought Ethan Page wasn't good in AEW, and I go, I don't get it. I don't get what is Ethan Page ever going to do? I don't get it. Why is everyone like, oh my God, Ethan Page is amazing? Why is everybody like, oh my God, Ricky Starks is amazing? I don't understand. What, am I missing something? Am I not viewing the same thing that you're viewing? I don't get it. And I still feel that way about Ricky Starks when I look at him in NXT. I think, like, am I not getting something about this guy? He's got some charisma, I guess, but I feel like he should be starting at the bottom of the barrel and then hoping to come out of it. Not like, wow, he's here, Ricky Starks. I don't get it. I don't get it. He doesn't come in with any type of gravitas like, Jericho came into the WWE with even. It's not even like that at all. It's not even close. And so I don't get it. I just don't. I'm sorry. Like, I don't get it. Prove it to me. What? The revolution is televised. The revolution's here. What? So you take other catchphrases that people have said for years? I don't get it. What is the revolution? You? Why? So I just don't get it. It kind of is that Lance Archer. Everybody dies. In the end, everybody dies. Terrible. So I don't get it. I don't think tonight was very good in NXT. I thought that was a very weird angle to end the show. I thought it was very cheesy and childlike, overproduced maybe even. It felt like whatever that group was on Raw, I don't even remember it now, with Dijak and them. What were they? The Reckoning and things like that? I don't even know. The Resistance? I don't remember. But it wasn't good. That reminds me of that. Yeah, Tiffany Stratton was supposed to be on Logan Paul's podcast. So basically, Tiffany Stratton was supposed to be on Logan Paul's podcast, and she backed out the last minute, and so they replaced her with Michael Cole. And then Logan Paul mentioned that it sounds like Ludwig Kaiser actually got in a beef with Logan Paul in the back, and I think he probably disallowed her to be on the podcast. So I don't know what's going on, but Ludwig Kaiser's a heel, so isn't Logan. I don't think they're trying to work a program together. So I think this really happened, it sounds like, that like he was talking to her in the back about something, and then Ludwig Kaiser was like, why are you talking to her? And now she's not on his podcast. So I really do think that this must be real, right? Because why would they be trying to work an angle as two heels? It doesn't make sense. So something crazy happened there. So hopefully more on that coming up soon. I don't know. There must be something to it. Shit bum. Oh.
Take my booze money and read my previous question.
Take my booze money and read that previous question. Thank you, Dork Knight. I will take your booze money. Because I have no money. So I'll take it. I need all the money I can get. I'll take every cent you have, dork. I've got 3 kids that don't look like football players. I've never understood why people like Ricky Starks. I don't get it, and now I really don't get it. Let's see. Is a jump from AEW to NXT a downgrade, a lateral move, or an upgrade? I mean, that depends on how you utilize it, right? That depends on how you utilize it. If you're dead in AEW, then it's a lateral move, I guess. I think it's a lateral move that could potentially become an upgrade or a downgrade, but usually it's been an upgrade because usually WWE and NXT know how to do things with you a little bit better, usually, right? Certainly, and also there's a perception sometimes because you're a used-up toy sometimes. They were like a toy for us. The women was like a toy for us. If you're somebody who's been not doing very well up on the main roster for a while and your stock is way down and you're phasing out and they're not doing anything with you and they're putting you in bad stories and things like that and you're phasing out and then you decide to go to AEW, I mean, that's going to be seen as an upgrade. Like, oh, finally he's somewhere where they can do something. But then they don't really do anything, and then what does that mean? So like Miro, you know what I mean? Rusev goes to AEW and you're like, finally, yes. Because Rusev's stock in WWE was way down. It was really bad. And then he goes to AEW, and you're like, hell yeah, now Miro can cook. Now Miro can do things. And this is going to be, finally, they're going to be using him the right way. Vince didn't care about him anymore and all these things. And then you find out that, you know, the guy has no idea really what to do with himself, but he's in charge of his own stuff. And it's fucking terrible. So now him going back to WWE could be seen as a very big positive and, you know, could be obviously seen as, an upgrade potentially. But mostly because we know that WWE, knows more what to do with many people. So, we'll see. But in the end, if you look at Rusev's AEW career versus Rusev's WWE career, which one's more memorable? Which one's more important? By far, it's the WWE one. He did almost nothing in AEW. But there was one thing about Miro in AEW that really was well done, which was some of those promos he did were really funny. When he would go on rants on the microphone, those were funny. When he did some of his best promo stuff because he was like, and then I'm going to break you, and I'm going to eat your eyeballs. Like, he would say crazy things like I'll feast on your body parts. Like, it was like, what? He would throw something weird into a random promo that was regular. He'd be like, and I'm going to hurt you in the ring, and I'm going to break you in the ring, and then I'm going to defeat you in front of your wife, and then I'm going to lick my fingers with the salt of your body. Your loss makes my insides explode. Like, it was just like, what the fuck? And the crazier shit he says like that, the better. The more Rusev or Miro can cut like an 80s wrestler promo that sounds like it's from another planet, the better that guy was. So in WWE, he had a straight-up character that he was trying to play and stick to, which is great, probably the more solid thing to do. But at least in AEW, he got some stray moments on the mic where he sounded like a fucking maniac, and that was great. So Rusev as a maniac works wonderful. And if I was WWE, I'd be like, we're going to do that. We're going to do that in WWE. You're going to be Rusev again, the Bulgarian brute, the Bulgarian maniac. And we want you to just cut promos like The Ultimate Warrior or like Macho Man. We want you to do that. Like, you're just jacked up and you're saying crazy things about the hounds of hell will come from the skies and help me defeat you in front of your family. And as they're eating your soul and your corpse, I'll pin you 1, 2, 3, and I'll be your dominant boss. Like, it's just like weird shit like that is like, and then his accent kind of sounds like Arnold a little bit. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it's so good to me. I love that. Give me unhinged, crazy Rusev Miro guy. Please. Please give me that. I want to hear. Let's hear a little more.
The work you guys do, even just, Michael, you're there all day.
Yeah.
All day.
You have to be.
Even announcing the pre-show matches.
Forever.
Hey, Bullfrog is a moron.
Hang on.
Scissor me, Joe!
Hold on a second. Speech to text.
For Evil Spectrum Streamlabs. PayPal send. Confirm. Confirm. Open Pornhub. Search bar. Mature mom teaches son to kiss.
Oh,
Search.
my God.
Scroll down. Tab down. Tab down page.
What the hell was that about? Let me blow my nose. All right. Well, I don't know what he was trying to do. Open up some kind of Pornhub or something. I'm not really sure what that was. But interesting. Oh God, I can barely breathe, I feel like. Ugh. I just tried to sneeze out my insides. Well, I don't know what that was, but thank you for the $3, I guess. I mean, can always use $3. If you guys can be the best and click the like button and stick the thumb up my ass in the chat, that would be the greatest thing ever you could do. Earlier, I roasted the Murder Hawk and crapped on him. Dono link, my bad. Here it is. There it is. I did crap on the Murder Hawk. Let's hear a little bit of this. And then we'll play another dono maybe. And then we'll talk about, I don't know, man. I thought NXT was very plastic and cartoony or something tonight, and I'm not a fan tonight.
It's just an unbelievable relationship. He trusts me, I trust him. Nick, as you know, is just an incredible human being. Yeah. I don't know if you've had much interaction with Lee yet, but Lee is
a little bit. Yeah.
Lee's a genius.
He gave me some nice. He gave me some nice compliments yesterday. Yeah. No, we can see it in the product. Yeah. It's cool. I think the company now is a little from what I hear, more receptive to the ideas that the talent has.
Oh my God, dude, it's so different. Like for the most part, our talent are given bullet points for their promos, and they're not really scripted much anymore.
Wow, that's interesting to hear. That's a big good thing to hear, because bullet points have always been better for wrestlers and for wrestling. Like, we know that, right? For the most part, if someone doesn't want to be dead on scripted, for some people that's detrimental, but for most people it's a good thing. So that's really good to hear. You know, that it's like bullet points. That is wow, that is important, man. It so is. It's only Roddy Piper was back again. Poor Roddy Piper. So good with the bullet points. So bad with the scripted. But still good with it, actually. Rest in peace. Love you, Piper.
I mean, there's certain things you all have to hit because the storylines, right? But so they're able to be themselves. Who knows the character more than you guys, right? That's really important. Putting together matches is now become Paul, the producers, and the talent. When before it was Vince, right? You know, so it's really helped the product, and people are having fun, dude. Everyone, you see the locker room now. People are having a blast
because of themselves, and I think it's even more important nowadays too, as there is some breakout from the silo that is the WWE being the only platform. People have their own platforms. So if he's going to go out and tell a story, and then he's going to go and put that on his channels with 25, 30 million followers in his channels, of course he wants the story to be creatively aligned with what he wants it to be, to an extent at least, right? So it seems like in that respect, even the WWE is making all the right plays.
Well, and the company was so restrictive for so many years, like, you know, our talent wouldn't be able to go out, and, you know, we had a big controversy over the Twitch streams a few years ago, and, you know, but now everything's open up. Go be a brand. The big thing about our company, the big thing about our company is we want you as a performer to develop your brand. We, in fact, have people in place in our offices that are helping our talent, especially the younger talent, help them grow.
12 years ago, I said this. 2013 and 14, we talked about this. And I said, I'm like, yeah, but you know what? WWE needs to be on YouTube doing this stuff. And somebody said, well, WWE will never hire you because you're on YouTube. And now they're bringing in YouTubers. It's just so crazy. So Michael Cole's dead right. You know, he's dead on right here. It's a huge change.
Their brand.
I feel like I should be on that team.
You probably should. Oh, I'm trying to get McAfee to get on that team too. I think you guys are,
dude. I'm definitely gonna
unbelievable examples of people that have just created something like out of thin air. Really, really. I mean, the stuff that you've created to me, and I'll.
Well, the Pauls were on the Disney Channel. Pat McAfee was a football player who had an ESPN connection. So I don't know if they created it out of thin air. I think I created this out of thin air. But these guys had a big, you know, crowd. You know, they were recognizable. But I do think that Pat McAfee, but I think Pat McAfee really did put on a good show, and it created a very good show that worked out. And I would say Logan Paul is more of like just really good at spreading his brand. I think Logan Paul's a good businessman. You know, that it allows you to be able to be a businessman in many different ways, and an outreach that can continue regardless of what you're doing. I am obviously a bad one.
I'll admit, again, I'm learning, right? I'm learning over the years of all what you all do, and I didn't know Logan Paul at all a few years ago. When you came to the company, obviously, I had to learn more about you. And the more I read, and it's like I'm just completely blown away with what you've created. And the same thing with Pat. I mean, you know, as an NFL punter, like we always knew he was entertaining, especially when he was a player. But to create what he's created, and
he's incredible.
It's craziness. And like I have so much respect for that. Like I'm a lifer. I'm a WWE lifer.
I appreciate the kind words. Seriously. You know? I want to say one thing about the JD spot. Perhaps you could help me understand why he did that.
I have no idea. I texted him the other day. I said, dude, what are you thinking?
Yeah, why did he do that? I texted my match producer, Shane, my guy.
Oh, yeah.
And
Hurricane.
You know, we were talking about it, and I was like, Shane, like this wouldn't have even made it past like the ideation phase, like with the distance, but that distance and then the table right there.
They probably just called it in the ring. That's probably what they did. Crazy. He's insane. We make fun of him all the time because he's got a big head and stuff. He is one of the nicest guys on the planet. He's a hard worker. Very respectful. I love JD. I've loved him since he was back, in the NXT UK days, and Jordan Devlin, and just a really cool dude. We have so many great people.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. It's sick company to work for, dude.
It really is.
You don't always know why shit happens. Look at the Doncic AD trade last night. Did you see that?
Oh my God.
Who knows?
We were
Who
sitting
knows
at the bar
what people
and
are thinking?
I
half
actually
the time.
screamed.
Cole was at the bar, man, having a couple of drinks. Imagine being at the bar. Imagine being at the bar with Cole, and then the Luka Doncic trade goes off, and then you got D. Welsh, DMing you over and over again, like, you got what is going on, my God. Oh, shit. Haystacks Monet, ladies and gentlemen, in the chat, Haystacks Monet is gifted 5 freaking memberships. Unbelievable, Haystacks Monet. 5 memberships. Let's go. Wow. Haystacks Monet, man. 5 lucky people are going to get a hold. Yeah, baby. Give me that Stone Cold Steve Austin. Because Cam Darcy's going to get one. My God, Haystacks Monet. Unbelievable, man. Everybody's going to get a membership. Man, thank you so much to the man himself, Haystacks Monet.
Come on out, you rapist!
Zero has become a member because of this. Everybody click that like button for Haystacks Monet.
Come on out, you rapist!
And it's John Dexter. Unbelievable John Dexter with a membership. Beautiful stuff, man. Thank you.
Come on out, you rapist!
Love to have you, John Dexter. Crave. One of the best names ever. This could be a wrestler's name. Here he is, Crave. And then the guy comes out, and he just starts, like, sniffing the crowd and then licking his own lips, because he's craving men, and that's the whole thing. Then he goes out and has to wrestle a man. You talk about controversial. Crave could be just that.
Piece of shit.
Who is D. Welsh? She's in your chat causing trouble. Is she an ex-girlfriend or something? She's in there shitting on people like she's a big shot. Crazy lady. Deborah Welsh, suck my cock.
Wow. Deborah Welsh, suck my cock, says Kemi. Is D. Welsh here? D. Welsh isn't even in the chats usually anymore. Oh, he is in the chat. Deborah Welsh, Jesus. Man, if you don't know D. Welsh, I mean, you know what? We do have like 1,000 new subscribers. This week we actually added 825 brand new subscribers this week. So there probably could be a lot of people tuning in that don't know who D. Welsh is. So that could be a legit donation. I'm not sure if it is. It could be a troll. Probably is a troll, but that realistically could be a real donation. Because a lot of people don't know who some people are. So maybe. I clipped a clip from a match that I called a long time ago earlier, and I was thinking about it, and I clipped it because it's funny to me. And it's the one where it's kind of crazy. Brian Pillman Jr. grabs the nipple of Anthony Green and like twists his nipple, and I don't know why it cracks me up, but what it's just cinched this. Maybe you've seen this, but it's just so I started thinking, I'm like, have I ever actually seen that? I don't think I've ever actually seen a wrestler grab another guy's nipple like during a wrestling match. I mean, some of you might have seen this, but check this out. Sin more. Whoa, look out. Oh my God! Come on, man. That's just weird. Come on, man. That's weird. Even referee Tony P has a sick look on his face after that. What do you do about that? I don't know. Guy's gonna just cinch this in more. Whoa, look out. Oh my God! Come on, man. That's just weird. That's weird. Even referee Tony P has a sick look on his face after that. What do you do about that? I don't know. That caught me off guard when I was calling that match that night. I was like, wait, we're ripping his nipple off? I was like, there's no nipple ring or anything like that. It was just like Brian Pillman Jr. was like, yo, nipples, I like those. Like, my dad taught me this, you know? I mean, he didn't, but, you know, it was just weird. To go for the nipple, I've never seen that. So that was fascinating to me, to be there that night to see the nipple get squeezed. But, you know, it was nice. Nice little nipple squeeze on a Tuesday night for all you guys. And now tonight he's backstage talking to Moose, and I started thinking, man, you know, what if, you know, Lexus King, Brian Pillman Jr., were to squeeze the Moose's nipples? You know, what would Moose do in a match if Lexus King were to squeeze his nipples? But, you know, someday maybe we'll get that. I can't be sure. What did you guys think about Ricky Starks tonight, whether his promos, his backstage stuff, his in-ring stuff? Let me put up a poll, because I know what I think, and I know what I've said already. Ricky Saints debut. I mean, I'm calling it his debut because it's really the first time we've really gotten him going here tonight. We'll call it the debut tonight. Amazing. Okay. Blah. Let's see what you guys are feeling about Ricky Saints, Ricky Starks, whatever you want to call him, with a poll that you can vote on. In his hometown? Oh, I'm like, they weren't in his hometown tonight. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think.
Holy shit.
No, it's insane.
Wade's like, what are you talking about? I said, Donick just went to freaking
insane.
The Lakers. Like,
Insane.
I heard a lot about that.
What was going on behind the scenes?
Yeah, I was reading a lot about that
100%.
today. Yeah, not being in shape.
Prime sponsors the Lakers, so
there you go.
No, bro, it's a big deal.
And by the way, like, the Prime logo on the mat,
crazy.
And now all the logos we've got on the mat, like, this would have never happened. I understood Vince's perspective that that was sacred.
Yeah.
But you know, it's 2025.
You know where it makes it a little difficult for talent, especially if talent is trying to build their brand.
Yep.
The last thing you want in your really cool move pose, like is or you
Don't say
with the title
brand.
is a brand.
Yeah, but
is a brand.
Yeah, but when Logan Paul is in the ring and this is a brand.
For me it's fantastic. For me
it's just got to be the right brands too. Like, I would want to get my head smashed in over a Wingstop logo. Are you serious? That's amazing, dude. That's all we talked about for the rest of the night last night. He wanted to go to Wingstop.
You were talking about the branding thing though, right? Like, it's funny. Like, I'm sort of developing my own brand, like, and I'm not even working on it.
Is it a competitive hydration product?
No. No, not at all.
If it was.
There are a lot of things I've thought about, but no, that's gonna be great. Right? By the way, I'm going to have my new Michael Cole drink on the thing. No, it's just funny how it just starts to evolve, right? Like, I never thought in those terms until I started working with Pat, and Pat's like, you're missing out on so much stuff, dude.
All the talent are.
You know,
all the talent are. Everyone should be thinking about how to not just build yourself, but how to build businesses, long-lasting businesses that have impact. It's the next level of conversation, and use the vehicle you've been given. Use the vehicle you've been given. I think every talent in the WWE should be thinking like that.
Yeah.
And it would be cool to be on that team to potentially, like,
You have to do that.
Help build
You
it.
have to do that.
it's pretty. I see it pretty clearly for some of the folks in there.
I mean, there's a lot that could really be building off on that.
One last question for me: if there's a future Don Imus, Mike and the Mad Dog, I know I'm hitting you in the sweet spot right now, watching this right now. Future commentator for the WWE. How could they potentially break through into the space in a time where it's very noisy out there? Do you have any advice?
Are you just talking about wrestling, or are you talking about
just in general? I mean, like if they want to get into the funnel.
It's hard. It's much harder than it was.
Yeah.
You know, when I went to college in the mid '80s, I went to Syracuse, which is a hotbed for sports broadcasters.
Yeah.
And luckily at the time, there was 4 television stations and a couple cable TV stations, and there was no social media. So there weren't a lot of jobs.
What? We plan the spot all day. Oh my God! I want you to jam it in. Oh, it's in your bunghole. Oh my God! Oh, it's in your bunghole. I want it jammed in my bunghole. It's D. Welsh! Oh my God! D. Welsh dropped $100!
Chat. Get off my ass for not throwing donations as of late. Guess who's still the top bitch of all time? This fucking guy.
Wow. I didn't know the chat was roasting him. Apparently the chat's roasting D. Welsh, I guess. What about being... what? Get off my ass about donations. Oh, my God. D. Welsh. Well, I guess... You know, I don't know. I think it's because usually Welsh is the one prodding other people. Usually Welsh is the one calling everybody out. Like, why don't you get out and fucking whatever. So, like, I guess a taste of his own medicine, I guess some people are giving Welsh. I suppose. That's crazy. D. Welsh dropping $100 big one. Unbelievable. Where's the Welsh song? Pull it up. And Michael Cole was just about to tell us how hard it is for you to get into commentary. Let me find the Welsh song for you, Welsh. $100 bomb. Give him some sex love in the chat. Everybody give D. Welsh love, baby, because D. Welsh just powered my privates.
Announcer ever hired by network radio when I got out of school. And so I was lucky. But now there's so much programming out there that if you want to be a broadcaster, you can get in, go to school for it, work on it, get in at a small level, and just build yourself. You can only do it through reps, as you know.
Okay, but also how much of it is like the voice? Because like you're very
not going to school. I'm screwed.
Listenable.
There's a lot. I did voice training in school and stuff like that. But but
you have the radio.
Yeah, you have the voice.
You listen to Tessitore. He's an unbelievable voice. That has a ton to do with it.
It does.
You don't hear a lot of high pitched squeaky people doing. Wade Barrett's got that nice English baritone that just sticks out pat. It's pat, and it's just that has a lot to do with it. But it's experience more than anything else. It's just going out there and being able to do. I got lucky that I hit news radio at the time when that was, if you wanted to be a serious journalist, you went to.
Yeah, you went to broadcasting school. And, I got offered that radio job, and quite honestly, if I could go back in time, man, and take that radio job, I would have probably had more of a chance because I would have had a way to build up in there and do that. But when I did better on YouTube than in radio, it was like, well, why would I do that? But now, is there an avenue? I don't know. But I would argue I got closer than most people, so it doesn't matter. So even though you say that and it's hard to get in and all these other things and whatever else you could do, but honestly, bro, I got really close. I mean, the fact that people heard my stuff is probably, pretty good, but, So interesting stuff from Michael Cole there for everybody out there. D. Welsh dropping $100 bomb. We're just looking for the Welshy song. We're going to get it. We're going to find it for you, Welsh. Trust me. Don't you worry. We'll find it. I don't know where it's hiding right now. But it's hiding somewhere, Welshie. We're going to get it, baby, because Welsh just dropped $100. Welsh, behind the paywall, has dropped hundreds before. He's unbelievable. Bro, where the fuck is this song? It's pissing me off. I found the Creeder one. Almost played the Creeder one. Am I missing something? That's the hard drive. That's the hard drive. That's the new one. That's the other one. Oh God, Leah's having some kind of... Where the fuck is your song, D. Welsh? God damn it, we gotta find it. Where is this thing? It's driving me nuts, baby. I want to hear that shit. Unbelievable. Is this it? Is this it? What's this? What's this? Is this it? D. Welsh, $100. Boy, that's huge boner. That's huge boner. What's this? I don't know. None of those are correct. None of those are correct. Welsh, what happened to your song? Huge. Oh, here we go. Oh, wait a minute. No, here's Huge Boner. Here's Ghost from the Coast. Okay. We got to make a folder that makes sense. All right. We got Huge Boner. I got that one. I found that. We got Ghost. I got his. We got to find Sith Negan's. And ladies and gentlemen, I found it. Let's go. Welsh. Yes. 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 Watch it. Go, D. Welsh. Yeah, there it is. Here we go. Dropping the big domino. Don't know for sure. He will drop you. He will rock you. Fuck around and find out like bull from. He'll dox you. Loyal to JCS. No stress. Bank account growing. He make it other donators. Lives a mess. You ain't gonna see this on Impulsive, I'll tell you that. Nothing like it. Here he goes. Watching. Go, D. Welsh. The Hardy Boys just announced that they're going to defend the TNA World Tag Team titles next week on NXT. That is going to be must-see TV next week. Delete. He will drop you. He will rock you. Fuck around and find out like bull from your dox you. It's fire, bro. That's fire. Yeah, no, I will probably tune in to see the Hardys do that. That sounds fun. So that's pretty cool. Here's the message from the Hardys. This is like surreal to see WWE retweeting TNA tag champions, the Hardys. So weird. Let's check it out, though. They look like they're on InfoWars in the background. Against Axiom, whoever. Looks like two random guys who got out of the shower are facing the Hardy Boys next week. So can't wait for that. It's going to be unbelievable. I guess. Give me, you know, they'll be fun. That'll be fun. One of the, if you were to do like top 20, you know, best returns or greatest pops at WrestleMania or something like that, you know, that Hardy Boys return during that Orlando time when we were down there in Florida for WrestleMania. It's funny because I flew back, that morning, I think I made it back to Boston the morning of WrestleMania. Got home and got ready to do the show. And I should go back and watch that review because I bet I have a lot of cool takes from that week. But that pop for them was great. And I was like, damn, I wish I did go to WrestleMania because I was offered tickets by several people, not only by other creators and people that had extra tickets, companies that had extra tickets. I mean, the WWE themselves. I could have gone to WrestleMania easily, but I had to be here to do my show. I couldn't miss out on that paycheck, I guess. And I don't even know what I made on WrestleMania that night. Maybe I only made $300. Maybe I made $1,000. I don't remember. But in the end, I made, you know, there was a lot of subs and probably 1,000 subs and stuff like that. So it was important to be home for it. But man, I would have loved to be there to see that because that was a cool moment for the Hardys. Plus, after hanging out all weekend with so many different people and, you know, getting to hang out with, you know, all these cool dudes and then meeting the Hardys again, hanging out for a second, real briefly with them. You know, it was a great time. And then Matt and Jeff did they had a little bit of a run. And then, you know, it petered out and trickled out and faded out, just like we talked about earlier. Stock goes down, people go other places. And now they're in TNA. So they're all over the place. But we know that the Hardys can work wherever they go. Wherever they go, it's going to work out. So good for them. And thank you to D. Welsh, man. A few minutes ago, D. Welsh dropped a $100 bazooka on this show. They're facing No Quarter Catch Crew, not Fraxium. Okay. I got you. Yeah, Flotsam, Jetsam, I don't even know. I can't tell these people apart, some of them. Can't tell these people apart, you know? Baby D. Welsh with the Hundy Bomb. Let's hear a little quick more snippet, and then we'll get out of that conversation with Logan Paul. But it's a good stuff with Michael Cole.
News radio at the time. Yep. And that's and I got lucky and I got to cover some unbelievable things. It really helped shape my life. And then coming into wrestling, I at least had a broadcasting background. And I had done some sports too. I just had to learn this product. But I was ahead of the game when I got here, which is good.
How much more you got in your contract, can you say?
Yeah, 8 years.
Amazing.
All right, well, hopefully we ride out these next 8 years together, Michael.
I do. Well, hope you're going to be here that long. We need you.
Yeah. No, I love it, man. Yeah. I love it. As long as they'll have me and as long as the fans keep booing.
Yeah, you know what? Listen, I'll be honest, Logan, and just time to pat you on the back a little bit. First off, thanks for having me.
Yeah,
I never thought in a million years, when I told my kids I was doing your podcast, they were like, "You? You're an old man." I said, "Yeah," but I said, "I am so excited. You don't understand how excited I am to do this." But when you first came aboard, like, and again, I didn't know much about you.
Sure.
I learned so much over the years. Like I was like, oh, here's another celebrity guy gonna come in, gonna do a match,
Bad
whatever.
Bunny.
Roll my eyes at it. Yeah, you know.
Like Bad Bunny.
He did well though.
Yeah, he did well. He's good.
But then you just like I've never. And I was impressed when Pat had his matches. Like
His match was
he's incredible.
He's an athlete.
Oh my God,
I was too. I was like, damn.
I have never, and I'm not just blowing smoke here. In the 28 years I've been in this business, I have seen all-time greats, Hall of Famers. John Cena, one of my great friends, and I believe the greatest of all time because of longevity and how long he's been on top. For me, though,
Pretty true.
Logan, I've never seen anyone come into this business, and I know you said you wrestled your whole life and everything. This is different, and I've never seen anybody come in and do what you've done in such a short period of time. It is absolutely amazing to me, and I'm not just saying that because I'm on your show. And I've said it on the air. It's just I've never.
I mean, he's not wrong. You really got to give it to Logan Paul to come in. I mean, the guy has really almost missed nothing. Like he's comes in, and it's just boom, and you can train and do all these things, but until you're out there and performing it and doing it, it's just so different. And to not really have, like, you look like you've been doing this, and he's supposed to be there right away. So, you know, blowing Logan Paul about that is not wrong. You know, Kurt Angle took to it very quickly and very well. And I think they have different styles a bit. I think Logan Paul has a bit of a different style than Kurt. I think Kurt Angle, one of the best things Kurt Angle did, because I think if you were to say, like, who are the people that took to this the quickest, that were most effective with it, came out of nowhere almost, you know, Logan Paul's in that conversation now, and Kurt Angle is one of them too. But I think it's the psychology part. The psychology part that Kurt Angle got was really a big deal. All the technical stuff was crazy, and the mat stuff and the wrestling that Kurt Angle did was unbelievable too. But I mean, his psychology-wise, he kind of got it. Logan Paul definitely gets the nowadays, like, crazy spot style, like the little bit of the video game sort of thing, right? Logan Paul's like a hybrid of what WWE wants their superstars to be versus what the, you know, the indie video game guy wants to be versus what really gets over and what's the way to wrestle in WWE with storytelling and stuff like that. So he kind of like encompasses it all, like wraps it all around and uses it all. And then when you add the fact that he can play on the mic all day long. You know, Logan Paul can play around on the mic all day long and be whatever you got to be. So, you know, you got to give it to him. He knows what he's doing there. So he's done well. People hate him, people love him, whatever. He's been good. And even if you hate him, it's like maybe you do. Maybe you're like, I hate him. I hate him. But you know what? He's good. You got to give it to him. What's this? Oh. Well, I was looking for when I was looking for D. Welsh's song, I found another song. And since Road Dogg is back as the WWE SmackDown head writer, you know, I think it's only fair. By the way, I missed the crayon. I got to go to the store one day and buy some crayon. It's been a while. I haven't had the crayon in so long. And I'm just waiting to dip my dipstick in there and spin it around and have myself the crayon. It's been a while. But here you go. This one's for Road Dogg.
My name's Road Dogg. Do you like my
Let Road Dogg cook, baby, on SmackDown.
Joe Cronin, you're blocked. My name's Road Dogg. Do you like my cock? Joe Cronin, you're blocked. My name's Road Dogg. Do you like my cock? You're gonna like it a lot. My name's Road Dogg. Do you like my cock? Joe Cronin, you're blocked. My name's Road Dogg. Do you like
bet you Road. What happened to Road Dogg's podcast, man? He was off and running with that podcast, and does he not? Must not do that anymore. Because he's got too much to do in WWE, or did I just stop getting notifications? Yeah, they stopped doing it. Yeah, they stopped doing it. 11 months ago was the last one. Ask Dog anything. I mean, Road Dogg, why didn't you message me? Road Dogg, why didn't you message Joe to launch your YouTube channel? There is no chance in hell that this podcast shouldn't have had more subs. This should have had more subs. And honestly, this should have been the thing that maybe got people to like Road Dogg even more and start to see who he really is and stuff, and maybe got him over a little bit more with some of the internet wrestling fan people who are critical of him. Similar to like how Maven's channel has really launched Maven. Road Dogg, man, you should have hit me up, bro. How do we not get together on this? I like it. I like the podcast. Like, the content is great. His co-host and him are great. I like them. It's actually good. But this is not a good thumbnail. I mean, I like it. It looks kind of cool, but it's not that thumbnail is not going to do it. Pretty good though. You got 2,000 views. But yeah, the thumbnails need work. Thumbnails need work. That thumbnail needed to be better. It should have been like Road Dogg's face over here, like in big whatever. And then on the right, something different. Like somebody more shocking or crazy. And then maybe even write like a question mark, something else going on there. But this is just kind of looks like every other thing. But I know that they were trying to do a theme. They were trying to like come up with like a theme of when they're doing a topic that they're putting out a quick clip on the topic. It's always Road Dogg on the left with the suck it bones and then the thing on the right. I mean, I like that. I get what they're doing. And then this one here, instead of Road Dogg on Michael P. Hayes' philosophy on what makes a great heel, this one should probably just be Road Dogg on, I don't know, what makes a good heel, Michael P.S. Hayes, Road Dogg. Some way to shorten it up, Is this, I don't even know what this is. I don't know, but that title's too long. I don't know. Road Dogg, what are you doing, bro? But maybe that's why they stopped. Maybe they stopped because it was really, I thought it was really good. This is like a hidden gem. Like if somebody is like addicted to podcasts out there and they like listening to wrestling history and wrestling stories and stuff like that, this is an unbelievable hidden fucking gem. Road Dogg on Who Were Smart Heels, 178 views. What? It's just the selection of the clips and things like that. All these things could be refined. God knows what the tags are to that. Man. But yeah, so the compliment is that the podcast should have been much bigger. They should have been bigger. The tags don't make any sense. They're wrong. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Road Dogg. Let Road Dogg cook. Unbelievable. So the Hardys accept the challenge. They're going to be going to NXT to wrestle. Ricky Saints' debut, I don't think was very good tonight. He was kind of whatever. I thought NXT ended very bizarrely and very cartoon-like. in an almost cringy, dare I say. So hopefully they can work on that a little bit. It looked like a bad Raw episode from the Retribution era or something. Not great there. WWE SmackDown viewership decreases. February 14th, SmackDown's not feeling the love on Valentine's Day. Sorry. SmackDown wasn't feeling the love on Valentine's Day when their viewership dropped. SmackDown viewership is now down because, quite honestly, the show's not great or has not been very good. So the viewership is going to go down because it's not been very good. Eric Bischoff says he does not have a Legends contract with WWE. I thought he had some kind of contract. But if he has no contract, maybe he's going to stop bashing AEW now because he needs to get hired over there. I don't know. But maybe that's what will happen. Maybe it won't. Or maybe he has a contract in some other capacity that we don't know about. And will we ever know about it? Michael Cole, I definitely recommend listening to that podcast. He talked about his wife having a kidney transplant on the morning of September 11th, and they canceled it because it was 9/11. And they were shutting the hospital down from all those procedures because they needed to make room for injured people in all the local nearby hospitals. And he was in New Jersey. So, that's pretty crazy. And then they had to reschedule it for like 3 weeks later. Imagine that. You're about to have a kidney transplant, and I think like someone in the family was the donor, he said, or something too. So imagine that you're there with your family member, right? Isn't that how it works? They swap you right there. I mean, anybody has to go through something like that. Pretty crazy. And he went through it back in 2001. And then it's 9/11. Talk about adding stress to that whole thing. Can you imagine that? But yeah, that was really interesting to hear. Tessa Blanchard, TNA. TNA is really starting to kind of build up a crew of people now. You got Tessa Blanchard, you got Moose, you got the Hardys, you got Joe Hendry. I mean, TNA is starting to build up a crew of people, a roster, a locker room that, I don't think it's been this strong since maybe 2016, potentially. I mean, I'm not sure it's really at that level yet, but it is building up and getting to a greater level regardless. So that is also something very interesting from NXT, who is, depending on where NXT goes, and if they were to air on television, I mean, you wonder what they would do compared to AEW at this point. The last time I remember TNA really having a real TV contract and they were doing something, I think they were gathering about 190 or 150,000 people watching. So you wonder if they were on a different channel or a bigger channel or maybe USA Network or something, if TNA could grab 500,000-600,000 people. And you wonder if NXT would be beating AEW, which they are, and if then TNA Impact would be beating AEW. Pretty crazy to think that. They're calling the new Shield Retribution 2.0 the Hounds. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Really? TNA with Hogan on Spike had 2 million. Yeah, but we're talking about TNA in 2016, not TNA in 2010. TNA in 2016 had about 1 million or about 900,000, 600,000. TNA, when Broken Matt Hardy started doing the broken gimmick, Delete, they had about, I want to say it was like they had between 400,000 and 1 million here or there. But yeah, 2010 had 2 million. But in the last couple of years of television, before TNA was fragmented all over the place, they had, I think, about 120 or so thousand people on the whatever channel TNA was on. Or I'm not sure what they're on now. Like GLEM or something. Sith is a pathetic fuck, says D. Welsh. Jesus, he's going after Sith. See, now you're doing it. You're going after people now. See, you dropped a hundy and yelled at people for going after you, but, you know, you're going after people. So, figure that out. Thank you, Haystacks Monet. Do watch Invincible. I don't watch Invincible. No, I don't know what that is. Road Dogg is quoted as saying, wins don't matter. That's scary coming from someone who will be heading SmackDown's writing team. Yeah, but what's the real context to that? Okay, so Costas Design Studio says Road Dogg is quoted as saying wins don't matter. That's scary coming from someone who would be heading SmackDown's writing team. Yeah, but so what's the context of that though? Right? Like let's say Stone Cold Steve Austin is in the WWE, right? As Stunning Steve or as the Ringmaster. Let's go back in time and pretend. Let's pretend he comes in and he has a match and he loses, right? Let's pretend he then goes on and beats a jabroni, right? And now he's 1-1. And then Austin goes in to face Bret the Hitman Hart at Survivor Series like he did. And then, you know, Stone Cold loses. And now Austin's 1-2, you know? And then maybe Austin then loses another match a week later. And then maybe he's off TV for 2 weeks. And then maybe he comes back and suddenly he says something like, Austin 316, I just whooped your ass. And then suddenly it just catches on fire. And then, like, the next week he has a match and he wins. You know, in the end, did his wins and losses really matter? No, they didn't really matter. All that mattered was the character building that they did with him and that he put on decent matches and one way or the other or was entertaining. That's all that mattered, was he's entertaining. Now, I would say that if Road Dogg actually believes that, like, they don't matter at all, I mean, they play into... I think he knows this. I think he knows that they play into... He obviously knows this. He knows that they play into some aspect of a character and how seriously people might view you. But in the end, it doesn't really matter that much. Like AEW. This guy's 7-4-2. This guy's 15-5. Who gives a shit? Right? They're doing that in AEW. Everybody's got the wins, right? They're talking about the wins 10-5-6. And this guy's 2-0 this year. I mean, does it matter? They got 590,000 people watching. Meanwhile, in NXT and in other WWE, Raw, SmackDown, I really don't know what people's wins and losses are. I mean, the only time things stick out is when they lose a big match, or when they lose, it's a surprise, or when somebody I think should have won lost, or something like that, and really sticks out in my mind. Or when someone's building momentum, or when someone is like dead and losing momentum. Yeah, I can get that vibe of where they are. Where's their momentum? How are they like coming across? Like the kind of this vague feeling about them of energy and momentum and how they're doing. But in the end, the technical, 17-1 or whatever doesn't come up. I mean, sometimes there can be a guy that's on fire and he might only have 3 wins that year. Maybe he lost 10 matches on TV, but then he won 3. And then maybe he goes out and cuts some good promos and things, and the guy, you're like, I want to see him next week. I mean, you might say, like, God, this guy, he doesn't win a lot, though. Okay. But that really isn't predominantly the conversation ever, nor does it ever usually affect whether he can sell merchandise or not, depending on what's going on. Now, now guys at the top, yeah, Stone Cold Steve Austin gets to the top and then suddenly he loses all the time. That would be a little bit bizarre, right? But even a guy who's at the top can lose, and then the fans feel like they're fighting for justice for him to win. So it's like, it's weird. You could actually have Austin lose 0-7 and have the evil McMahon saying, "You'll never win, Austin, you son of a bitch." And then maybe Austin wins one time, and it's huge because he does, right? And in the end, 0-7 or 1-7 or 1-20 didn't matter. Goldberg, his whole character was built on a streak of winning and things like that. And once that went away, he kind of went away. But that was his whole character was built on that. So when you You know what I mean? You have the whole character built on intensity and destruction and wins, really. When you take that away, that's when his character kind of went down a little bit because you took away that whole gimmick and that whole idea. But every other wrestler isn't like that. Not every wrestler is running on the idea of I'm 50-0 and things like that. So I understand what Road Dogg's point is there. I don't know the context fully of that. And what is the context? I'd like to ask him, actually. Maybe we will. But I'm sure he's aware of that. I just think what he meant is it's not as important as people seem to make it out to be. Yes, it matters a little bit. But in the end, there's so many other things that matter even more. And so, you know, I suppose that's his point. When he thought that out, it was like wet blanket statement, which really doesn't make sense. Maybe. Road Dogg basically saying draws matter. I mean, I like a draw once in a while. I like a double count out. I like a double disqualification. I like a disqualification. I like things like that to happen. Not a lot, but like, you know, they got to happen to build up the world that is wrestling. And they honestly don't happen enough now that there's not a count out or a disqualification. There needs to be more of that. There needs to be more of it because there needs to be the jeopardy that can happen. And when you have the jeopardy that could happen, it makes everything even better, right? But when you do it all the time to get out of things and to be annoying and whatever, it irritates people. But do it, you got to do some. Everything can't be clean. There's a reason we have a time limit. There's a reason there's a count out. I always found that stuff fascinating. And at one point they did it too much and it became enraging. And then at one point it's disappeared into like, it doesn't even matter. And I don't like either one of those scenarios.
I've been going to wrestling shows for over 30 years. Never
Seabass,
in
the
all that
beast.
time have I ever felt until last Sunday that my security, my safety, my life was in danger at a wrestling show.
Whoa, Seabass.
WWE needs more upsets in matches and more unpredictability.
Right.
Title changes need to happen on B-level live events.
All right. Well, there you go. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't always like the title changes on live events, but maybe if they put some of the lower end belts on the line more at live events, that could be something they do. You know, back in the day, you could put the WWF title on the line all the time at live events because it wasn't televised. There was no social media. But now it feels bad if you put the WWE title on the line all the time at a live event. But it happens once in a while, I think. I don't think it happens a lot anymore because everything is, you know, going to be on film and video and social media shared around everywhere, that sort of thing. Daniel's son, you and Jake still cool? I mean, yeah, I think me and Jake pretty good. He just wants to do stuff with someone else. Back then, wins and losses matter because they had power rankings. I don't know, man. I don't know if they matter. Even in AEW. I just, it's so stupid. If you're worried about the wins and losses, I mean, listen, if you're pushing somebody, obviously they should be winning here or there. Or winning in a momentum. They should have momentum. People should have momentum and certain momentum and stuff like that. But the actual wins and losses, you know, it doesn't matter. I mean, you heard Kofi Kingston earlier. He was like talking about how many championships he had compared to Rey Mysterio. Who's better, Kofi or Rey Mysterio? I don't know. I think probably Rey Mysterio. But Kofi has had a really good career. But then he's had more belts. Does that matter? How many WWE championships did Hulk Hogan have? 5? You know, and at one time he had 4. At one time, let me rewind this world for you really quickly. I want to, no matter what age you are listening to this show right now, let's pretend it's the year 2004 or 2003.
I've been going to wrestling shows for over 30 years.
Seabass, the beast.
Never in all that time have I ever felt until last Sunday that my security, my safety, my life was in danger at a wrestling show.
I meant B-level pay-per-views LOL, like shows like Backlash and Payback.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lay off the donations.
Oh, thank God you're not going to lay off the donations, Seabass the Beast. Thank you, sir. Thank you. This is the worst time to lay off the donations since I lost my job. I just found out that unemployment doesn't pay for like 3 weeks, or they may not even have a decision for like 3 or 4 weeks. Like, what? So, yes, don't lay off the donations, Seabass the Beast. I love you. Yes, you're right. That would be cool. I do like that. And since they have so many titles, feature them more. But there just are too many belts. I really wish they would get rid of some of the belts. I'm never going to stop ranting about that. There should be like 4 or 5 belts in the entire WWE. All right, maybe more because the women, there's tag, whatever. Like women's championship, women's tag, women's mid-card thing, belt. So 3 for the women, maybe 4. No, 3 for the women. 3 for the women total, and maybe 5 for the men total. And then, NXT should have 3 or 4. There should be no more than those, and right now there's just too many. And there's AEW is out of fucking control. AEW's belts are meaningless. The only belt that matters in AEW is the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. Maybe their tag belts, I don't know. But pretty much the AEW World Heavyweight title is all that matters in AEW. And they've defaultedly done that. I don't even think defaultedly is not a word. They've done that by default because there's so many other stupid belts that I just can't even think about it. So I delete them all in my head, and I just think, well, that AEW World title is the only thing that looks cool and that I identify with and that they had since the beginning, and that really means a lot. To me, everything else is meaningless in AEW. So it is what it is. And now the women's titles are meaningless to me because I'm confused about which one it is and whatever. There should only be one women's championship. It's fucking ridiculous what AEW has done. Get rid of these fucking championships, Tony Khan, because you don't have the balls to just tell some of the wrestlers, guess what? You're not the champion. Deal with it. But you can't do that. But let's rewind back to the year 2003. I think Hulk Hogan had 4 WWE championships, I believe, in 2002 or 1 or something like that. Maybe 3. Whatever. He'd only won the belt 4 times. And at that point in time, I believe that maybe I think it might have been Stone Cold, but it might have been The Rock, and there might have been somebody else has won the belt 3, 4, or 5 times or something. If you look at the numbers, I don't know what they are. But it's crazy because Hulk Hogan won the WWF title 4 times over the course of 10 years. And there you are from 98, 99, or 90 in 2000. In 3 years, somebody had the belt 4 different times, I think, or 3 or 4 or 5 different times. And I remember thinking at the time, oh my God, that's ridiculous. Hulk Hogan won this belt 4 times, but it's because he didn't lose it a lot and he held on to it for a long time and he was in the company for 10 years or whatever. And, it was a different thing, but it felt weird that the belt changed hands so much at that time that, Austin has already won the WWE Championship 3 times now in 2 years. So it's something like that. But the point is, that's I don't know. I actually don't remember what the point was. I don't remember where I was going with this. There was a reason why I was building that up and talking about it, but God damn it, I don't remember now. Seabass the Beast, thank you for the $3, man. We got Seabass the Beast dropping a couple of $3. Kemi with the $4. He took a shot at D. Welsh, which actually triggered D. Welsh into dropping $100, which he did up there. So thanks to Kemi, who basically called out D. Welsh, and then he literally made him drop a $100 bomb, I feel like. I mean, fuck, I'm going to start telling D. Welsh to suck my dick and stuff. Maybe he'll donate. Let's see. Okay. And then we got Speech to Text, donated $3. The Dork Knight did a super chat. Chief Wahoo dropped the 28 months. Jay Swiss, 22 months. And Drew Barr with the 62-month membership earlier. Just wanted to recap some of you sex beasts out there. I don't remember what I was talking about. I think it was Bret Hart, 92 to 97. He had it 5 times. Yeah, maybe it was Bret Hart. Maybe it was. But I remember thinking, that's crazy. Bret Hart is not, at the time, I still thought, Bret Hart is not Hulk Hogan, DEI championship. Get rid of some of the wrestlers. Yeah, get rid of oh my God. Get rid of the fucking trios title. So stupid. All because Tony Khan was trios title. Oh my god, like it's just, oh my god, bro, it just devalues. Although, man, did you hear the other? Speaking of trio stuff, Big Bill the other day on Ring of Honor, they were giving Big Bill some love on Ring of Honor. Did you hear that? Let's play a little bit of that. Listen to the crowd, bro. Big Bill's big over. Oh no, this is Mike.
Here they come out of the D-zone, lobbed out front to Yanmark, who's going to break away. He dinks. He scores. He beats Bobrovsky.
I don't know why I played that instead of the Big Bill clip. God, do you remember that when we were on Twitch calling the Stanley Cup, and I was just losing my mind for no reason, even though the Bruins didn't make it.
On the back goes Edmonton.
Remember this?
Here they come out of the D-zone, lobbed out front to Yanmark, who's going to break away. He dinks. He scores. He beats Bobrovsky.
Yanmark, baby. I don't know why that came up instead of the Big Bill reaction, but here's the Big Bill reaction.
My God, look at that body, Riccaboni.
Look at that body, Riccaboni. Yeah.
My God, look at that body, Riccaboni. Chiseled out of stone, and every bit of it functional. Listen to the crowd, Riccaboni. I've known this man since 2005. We met as teenagers at New York. My God, look at that body, Riccaboni.
They are giving it to Big Bill here.
Chiseled out of stone.
Man, this place is coming unglued for Big Bill. And all the announcers are doing is talking about his body.
My God, look at that body, Riccaboni.
Stunning spectacle, and these fans are loving him too. Listen to this. This place is loving Big Bill right now.
Riccaboni. I've known this man since 2005.
Unbelievable. Look at Big Bill hearing it from the crowd. That's wild. Big Billy boy.
Look at that body, Riccaboni. Chiseled.
Listen to the crowd from Big Bill. Look at this. Man, these people are absolutely behind Big Bill.
I've known this man since 2005. We met as teenagers at New York. My God.
Man, they're losing it for Big Bill there. Let's go. And then Mark Hamill's pants fell down during the Oscars or whatever they were the other night. But, you know, he's a drunken crackhead psychopath, so this makes sense.
It's that films create worlds so vivid and stories so powerful that we lose ourselves in them completely.
We lose our pants completely, apparently, too. I thought that was part of the joke. I thought this was a joke. It's not. He was getting blown in the back before this, probably. Or I thought somebody was blowing him under the table here.
Films create worlds so vivid and stories so powerful that we lose ourselves in them completely. They create immersive cinematic landscapes that feel alive.
Like, is he getting blown right now? This is like that scene. There's like a scene in a movie like this where the guy's getting blown under the fucking thing during the Oscars or something. Is that Naked Gun?
Landscapes that feel alive, whether they're set here in London or anywhere your imagination can take. It's that films create worlds so vivid and stories so powerful that we lose ourselves in them completely.
Mark Hamill's pants fell down. He probably feels bad that he still agreed to do that fucking terrible piece of trash Star Wars woke thing. But, you know, what are you going to do? Good stuff. Thank you, Seabass the Beast. We love you. Wooings! Unfortunately, Ric Flair's wooings went out of business after 3 seconds, which we predicted here on the show, by the way. Unbelievable prediction. Nobody saw that coming. I'm a genius. Just want to say. But I really wanted a piece of wooings, and we didn't get it. Because I still, you know, they didn't even have it up here near me. You know, we got Wingstop and 24 Wings and Buffalo Wild Wings and just a million other things on DoorDash Wings. And I don't think we got the Woo Wings up here. But, you know, I mean, isn't it just a ghost kitchen probably anyway? I mean, that's really why it doesn't work, because it's not really like he's got his own wing recipe and wing thing. It's just him putting his name on wings that are already being made anyway. You know, it's like a company is selling the wings. There's like some wings company that's selling their wings to like 10 different ghost kitchens across the U.S. Of course, ghost kitchens are, you know, they hire the local restaurant to make their product. So the wings, like let's say Gennaro's Wings sends their wings to the to like Chipotle or something, and Chipotle, even though they don't do wings, has a little freezer and a microwave thing and whatever, and they pull those wings out of the freezer, they microwave them or they oven them or whatever they do, then they put the sauce that you want on, whatever, and then they send them out. And then you get the wings thinking you got the wings from Woo Wings. But actually there's no Woo Wings anywhere. It was just a product of wings that was, a deal was made, a name was called something, and then they got a local kitchen to make it for you. And so there's no Woo Wings restaurant anywhere. It's just a local restaurant like Chili's or somebody taking the product that they ship to Chili's for only that reason, not for Chili's restaurant to be served separate, and they just prepare it and then they send it out to you, and you go, I just ordered off Woo Wings and my wings came. But no, you just ordered wings that are actually Jerry's Wings that like 500 different places sell all over the country, but they rebranded the name Woo Wings, and then Chili's down the street actually microwaved them for you and then sent them to you. That's a fucking ghost kitchen. And that's how so many companies are popping up left and right every second like this. I mean, this is old news now. This has been going on for 3, 4, or 5 years now. So, but I mean, because you guys know how it works now, but, you know, so many companies have popped up. You just have to have a good branding and a good idea. Hey, man, have you guys seen beefcakes? Oh, my God, bro, beefcakes is crazy. Well, guess what? Beefcakes is just a fucking Burger King hamburger with some kind of special sauce on it, and it gets prepared at Burger King, and they send it to you. And you think you just ordered off of Beefcakes Burgers, you know? Fucking crazy. What a world to live in. What a world to live in. You would think you'd have to disclose those kind of things. But no, you don't. Crazy. Wooings! I like Big Bill, Ashley Taylor. I agree. I like Big Bill. Chili's is underrated. You know, Chili's is really greasy and shit, but it's good for a lot of times. But I don't eat it much because it's so greasy, so buttery, and so fattening, everything at Chili's. I can't really do it. I mean, I can, but I don't, you know, my gallbladder would explode. But I do once in a while. But Applebee's is a little safer for me. It's more, I don't know why, but Applebee's is like healthier. But I really haven't eaten at Applebee's in like 5 months or 6 months since I left my other job to go to this new job that I just got fired from or laid off from. So, but I used to get it sometimes because it was around the corner, and you know, for $12 you could get a pretty good lunch, like, of stuff. But I haven't had it since I worked there because there was one nearby. The Grammys segment reminds me of this when they faked the orgasm, says D. Welsh. Oh, yeah. Yeah, but you know what? They did it in a movie, too. Like, I think Leslie Nielsen might have done it in Naked Gun. But, yeah, this is when DX did it with Candice Michelle. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God, look at her. I forgot, man. I forgot what women used to look like when they were 20. It's crazy.
All the video from the show goes through that truck, and this is the nerve system of the whole show. Everything goes through there.
Well, okay. But do you think it's nice in there? Oh!
Oh my God, I forgot that this happened to her too. Oh my God. Oh my God, bro. No way. Oh my God, I forgot that this happened to her too.
Nice in there. Oh!
Triple H is probably trying not to laugh right there. Oh my God, bro. This is crazy.
Okay. All right. I think I can show it to you.
Can you imagine them doing that now? And this was when I was kind of grumpy that DX was a little too lame. I was like, man, this ain't quite, this DX is, it's a little PG DX kind of. But imagine them doing this now. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You want to go?
Then that girl comes up and kisses Candice Michelle. I mean, I like it. Man, I miss the early. Don't you miss 2000s, like the 2000, like the, oh man, it still was starting, WWE was still starting to get a lot more, corporate and stuff at this time, but there was still this fun, like, summer night punk atmosphere to WWE, that it had back then. That whole Girls Gone Wild vibe. The late 90s with the Attitude Era really became about this sort of like Jerry Springer, crazy stuff and violence. And, this point we were in like that sort of like, I don't know, like Sum 41, Girls Gone Wild. It's late night. Let me grab my skateboard and some beers and the guys, and let's go play wiffle ball, and cook some hot dogs in a parking lot or something. Like, I don't know, like that's the vibe I get. But maybe that's because in the year 2006, I mean, that's what I was doing. So maybe that's why I'm feeling that nostalgic way, because in 2006, I was 22 years old. I hadn't met my wife yet even, and I was actually in 2006, I was just hooking up with girls all over the place, partying, playing video games, and just being a maniac, basically, which is crazy because I probably should have been doing that at like 19, 20, and 21, and probably by 22 started, really focusing on life a little bit. But 22, I was a wreck more than ever in 22. When I turned 23 years old is when I met my wife, and I started becoming a real human being again, But so maybe that's why I'm feeling that way. But what a great time to be alive. Let's take a look at the poll that I put up earlier when D. Welsh dropped a $100 bomb. Thank you to D. Welsh for supporting the channel like he done. Remember, this week, baby, we got AEW review coming up tomorrow night. We got some other stuff coming up Thursday, Friday. And then, of course, Saturday, Monetize This. We are so close to episode 500 of Monetize This. We're 7 away. I think this is 493. 493rd episode of Monetize this Saturday night. I hope you guys are here for it, because last week was kind of weird. But this Saturday, I hope we're all popping and ready to go. We had a lot of co-hosts, though, hanging out and people, friends of the show. So that was really cool. Let's go to the poll. That's not the poll. That's Corey Graves' face. 109 votes. I said Rick Saints. I'm sorry. I spelled his name wrong already. Ricky Saints, you get it. Ricky Saints' debut tonight, you thought was okay. 66%. That's a thumbs up for the most part tonight for Ricky Saints, Ricky Starks. And about 30-something% of you guys did not feel it. So that's a pretty good, that's pretty good for them to feel that way. I don't know how I feel. I feel like I give it a this or like a, I don't know, man. So I'm down on it. I got to be honest, but maybe he'll do better next time. But I've never seen him do something that made me go, I like this guy. This guy is going to be good. I can't wait to see what he does next. Never thought that about Ricky Starks yet. Still don't feel that way. I hope he can change my mind. I mean, Ethan Page changed my mind, so maybe Ricky Starks can do the same, but right now this, to me, ain't looking good. But to you guys, it is looking good, and that's all that matters. So the majority of people are, kind of enjoying it. So that, that's good news. That is good news for him, because I thought he was going to be worse off, and I was not giving him a lot of love. So I'm glad you guys are, and hopefully, with that being said, it will turn out to be pretty good for him, potentially. Let's see. Joe, I remember Vince McMahon sold the WWE. It's no longer the company anymore. Think about it. I don't know what you mean about that. I thought Raw and Netflix would give us some edgy shit like this, Joe. Yeah. Not so much. Like I said, they're in safe mode, cruise control, because they just keep making money, stacks and stacks on money. They aren't worried about nothing. You know what they're doing? They're going out and having fun. And maybe you don't always love that, but they're going out and having fun time because they're all rich. They're getting richer, and they can go have fun. They don't have Vince McMahon controlling everything like they used to, as Michael Cole said with Logan Paul on the Impulsive podcast. And they're making so much money that the only thing they can do is make a mistake and hurt some sponsorships and stuff. So they don't want to do that. So you're not going to see many of those risks that you want to see. They can do physical risks in the ring, apparently, but not necessarily those more risque risks, unless you're The Rock. Can't really be canceled. Can't really, The Rock can come out and do stuff. But The Rock, I think, is like, well, you guys wanted me to face Roman Reigns, The Rock, Roman Reigns, the big deal. Then I came back to do it, and then everybody booed it and said they wanted Cody. And so now I'm busy in Hollywood this year. So I was going to do it last year. I was going to do a Rock versus Roman, biggest thing ever. That's what everybody said. Then I come back and you guys don't want it. You want Cody. What the hell? Fuck you. I'm going to go do movies. Whatever. I'm going to go do movies. Remember Beast Burger, Mr. Beast's burger company that anyone could sell out of Ghost Kitchen? Sounded great, but no QC, so the food was terrible unless you got lucky and somebody was making it right. Exactly, CCUIBYT. Exactly, bro. And there's no consistency because anybody's making the burger, and it's really just the name that's selling the burger. The burger can be different in every state because it's you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's crazy. But it's a great gimmick to sell things. The restaurant that makes it, the Dairy Queen that makes it gets 5, 10, 15%, something like that from all the sales. And then the person takes like 10% of just revenue from just nothing. All they got to do is ship product to the stores, or even the stores have the product and you don't got to do anything. And so somebody just sits back and makes, anywhere from $500,000 to $10 million to $50 million in a year off a burger that it's off the name. But the product isn't a real fucking product with much thought into it. They just sold you a gimmick, which, hey man, it's America. But you know what? The cream will rise to the top, and after people try the gimmick and they try it for the first couple of times for fun, they say, well, I don't know, this isn't that great. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to call McDonald's again next time. And they stop buying it, and, that becomes it. And you made some money off it, but that's it. The Rock's the only one that can save Mania. Yeah, now we're starting to hear a different conversation, right? Like last year, the conversation was, oh, no, we don't want The Rock. We want Cody. All the Cody crybabies came out. We all did. We talked about it. And The Rock stepped aside because it was clear that everybody really wanted Cody Rhodes. And so The Rock's idea of Rock and Roman and everybody loving that took a back seat. And The Rock stepped aside for it. And now I feel like The Rock is like, well, I wanted to be here last year. You didn't want me. Well, guess what? Now I got a movie to do. But now all the clamoring is that WrestleMania doesn't feel big enough. WrestleMania doesn't feel like it's going to be big enough. I mean, we're not even close to Mania necessarily. We are, but I mean, we're pretty far away, and people are already deciding to say that, it feels lackluster. That's not good. I mean, whether you agree with that statement or not, I mean, it's not good that people feel that way right now, to be honest. And so now it feels like people are clamoring for The Rock to be there. I almost think that The Rock could do anything he wanted now. If Rock is listening to this show, which he's not, Rocky, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, Dwayne, I'm telling you, bro, the people are clamoring for something to happen. Which is crazy because you have CM Punk, you have Seth, you have Roman Reigns, you have Cody Rhodes, you have Jey Uso, you have all these people that are pretty good, but there is a clear anxiety and clamoring for something bigger to happen, and I'm feeling that right now, and we're all feeling that, and I'm telling you, they do need The Rock now. The people want The Rock to be there. People want The Rock to do something. So if they were going to do that, man, they want that. And unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen because I think The Rock really is busy, unless he's teasing us all. And maybe that is part of it. Maybe this is what they want. Can you imagine if they plan that out? They go, well, listen, last time you showed up and you were going to do this big thing, and then they were like, no, push the other guy. Well, what happens if they think you're not going to be there? What if they're begging for The Rock to be there? And then you come in like the hero. Wow. If that's what's going on and they're ahead of the game, that's impressive. But I can tell you right now, got my fingertip on the pulse of the WWE universe, and they want something's missing. That's what it feels like, whether you agree with that or not. I don't know if I even agree with it. We're far away from Mania still. It's not like we have to have this thing going on in the next 4 weeks. But people feel like something is wrong or missing. But also, John Cena is potentially going to be involved in a championship, maybe. And this push for 17 and this big story about that, and John Cena going to his last WrestleMania. If The Rock isn't going to be at Mania, which I've always thought he's not going to be at Mania, The Rock is not going to be there, John Cena will become one of the biggest stories. He really will, and I think he will fill that void that people are looking for because of the nostalgia and the feelings. Even me, I hated John Cena most of the time in WWE. I hated him. It wasn't until about 2014 or 15, maybe 2013, 14, or 15. I don't know, in those years somewhere, I started to really I thought Cena got better. I enjoyed Cena more, and I really respected him. And he was exciting. I did really like him. I booed him, and I wanted the other guy to win a lot. But I loved Cena in a way. It's like I didn't love him really, but I loved him because he was that guy. So I was definitely booing him during the 2006 years. I was just enraged by him for whatever reason. But it's funny how that goes. It's funny how I grow up loving Hulk Hogan, and then I grow up loving Shawn Michaels, even though Shawn's a heel, and then Shawn eventually becomes a face. And then it's funny that, I love Stone Cold and Bret Hart and these people. And then it's funny that I didn't like John Cena, but I understood it. And then it's weird that then in 2014, 15, or 16, in that time around, when he started doing the United States Open title match thing, then you start to really love John Cena because you're like, okay, now I love him because of his longevity, and you see how good he was, and the spectacle of John Cena. And it's not like I didn't see that before, right? It's not like I didn't see that. It's just that I wasn't ready yet to move on to another guy yet. So when John Cena was facing Triple H, I was cheering for Triple H. And I did not want John Cena to win because I wasn't ready to move on to another guy. I still think it's Triple H's time. I don't think it's John Cena's. But, John Cena, Triple H at WrestleMania 22 is one of, it's a wonderful match. It's because the fans are so into it. And because it's such a big match and an important match, it's right on the cusp of that Rock Rock and Hogan. Rock and Hogan at WrestleMania 17 is, or 18, is it's in that line of big matches where the crowd got into it and really made the match feel larger than life. You know, Andre the Giant Hogan, WrestleMania 3, that first WrestleMania main event with the tag team, the Rock and Wrestling stuff. Macho Man and Hogan, Warrior and Hogan. I think like Ric Flair, Macho Man, WrestleMania 8, Rowdy Piper and Bret Hart, WrestleMania 8. Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, WrestleMania 12, Stone Cold and HBK, WrestleMania 14. The Rock, Stone Cold, 15. Hulk Hogan and The Rock at 18. Triple H, John Cena at 22. Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, WrestleMania 25. You could say 26 too. These are all matches like that pop right out to me right away. And there's lots of other ones and lots of gems and stuff like that, but those are really big ones that, like, if you were like, I'm going to watch 10 matches, those are 10 that I'm putting on the list. Hell, dude, I even love, this is a weird one. This is not a championship match, but I loved that Undertaker-Jake Roberts match from WrestleMania 8. If anybody is out there, and since I'm never going to be hired by WWE, and maybe somebody's younger out there, 18 years old, 20 years old, or younger, or you're like going to be a commentator, WrestleMania 8, Bobby the Brain Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon are phenomenal on commentary. And no better example than The Undertaker versus Jake the Snake Roberts at WrestleMania 8. You got The Undertaker coming out like he's basically a dead person. You got Jake the Snake Roberts, who's a wackaloo. Paul Bearer with the urn commanding The Undertaker. And then Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby the Brain Heenan have to call this match. And the way that they call this match is so good. They're selling it so good that this guy's dead. Who knows what The Undertaker is? My God, he's crazy. And the way that they talk about everything that happens in the match, it's one of my favorite ever. And if I had somebody who was going to be a commentator in wrestling, especially wrestling, right? Not anything else. Like, hey, you may have to be a heel. You may have to think on your feet. You may have to paint a story. And this is the one. This is the match I'm going to show them, because here's a guy who's supposed to be a dead guy, and then this other guy who does the DDT and whatever else. Just some of this match. Just some of this commentary.
To the cemetery. Uppercut. Another one by Jake. He's taking it to him. But the man's not human. You can pound on him all day. Jake hit him with...
This guy altered the voices so he didn't get a copyright on this, but you'll get the idea. Like Undertaker, Jake's punching Undertaker. Undertaker isn't really moving much because he's not alive,
Uppercut. Another one by Jake. He's taking it to him. But the man's not human. You can pound on him all day. Jake hit him with a chair 20 times. He kept sitting up like Dracula. Other right hand finds a mark of the jaw. And there it is, another right hand. 360 over the top, but right on his feet.
It's so good, bro. I'm telling you, it's way better than that. Like, that's just the beginning. When they start getting into the intricacies of what's going on, oh, God, it's so good. And I don't want to sit here and play this whole thing of the match, but it's the pinnacle of what you can do on commentary. The most ridiculous thing. And then when they get on commentary for the Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth and Ric Flair, I love WrestleMania 8. I can never talk enough about how much I love that match. When I hear somebody crap on WrestleMania 8, dude, I want to choke the life out of them. Like, that is the craziest shit to say ever. Because Rowdy Piper and Bret Hart is amazing. Tito Santana and Shawn Michaels open up the night. Hulk Hogan versus Sid Justice. Is Hulk Hogan gonna, his last match? Warrior coming out at the end or whatever. Macho Man and Ric Flair in this really blood feud, but for the WWF title on top of it. Oh my God, dude. And then Jake Roberts and Undertaker out of nowhere is super fun to watch. It's just, I love that WrestleMania. I love it. If you can, you watch WrestleMania 8. You got to watch WrestleMania 8. What's the card on WrestleMania 8 really quickly? All right, so we got, Shawn Michaels versus El Matador, Tito Santana. Really fun match. It's kind of forgettable in a way, and it doesn't, it's the least of the, it's amazing that it didn't steal the show, to be honest, but it's pretty good. Watch that. It's like, that's how we start. And then Undertaker and Jake the Snake Roberts is great. And then Bret the Hitman Hart versus Rowdy Piper. Amazing. I do think that, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Sergeant Slaughter, Virgil and Big Boss Man versus the Mountie and Repo Man and Nasty Boys with Jimmy Hart. That's not so great. That gets lost in the shuffle. That's a nothing burger there. But, that breaks it up, And then Randy Savage versus Ric Flair with Mr. Perfect. Oh, my God, phenomenal. Tatanka versus the Model, Rick Martel. That's not so good. Again, that's forgettable. I don't even really a lot of times remember it. It's kind of forgettable. The Natural Disasters versus Money Inc. is kind of forgettable as whatever. Owen Hart wrestles Skinner, and that's kind of again, whatever. It's okay. But all of those matches are pretty decent because the commentary elevates them. It really does. Then we got Hulk Hogan versus Psycho Sid, right? So I always say that WrestleMania 8 is like a tale of two WrestleManias. You have 3 or 4 nothing matches, but then you have 4 really good matches, right? So if there's 4 matches that I still think about, right? Because the Jake the Snake one I do, the Bret Hart one I do, the Macho Man one I do, the Hulk Hogan one I do, that's 4. And then Shawn Michaels and Tito Santana I think about as well, that's 5. So if there's about 5 matches that I'm yep, I want to watch all 5 of those, that I'm thinking about in the year 2025 when this WrestleMania, originally aired in, 1990 or something? Or 1990, maybe 91 or 92, WrestleMania 8. I don't remember. Probably 92, actually, because I was 8 in 92, and my dad died in 92. So, yeah, it's probably 92. I didn't look it up, but I'm sure it's got to be 92. Then they got to be doing something right? Well, anyway, guys, if you guys want, leave a comment in the chat. Feel free to let me know. Streamlabs pinned to the top of the chat if you want to say something. If you guys want to donate to me and donate to my ass, Streamlabs is pinned to the top. Do it now if you'd like. Maybe we'll hang out for a few extra minutes. Maybe we'll go all night. I don't know what will happen. It's up to you in the donations. But really quickly, what we are going to do is go over to Discord for a second and talk to Jay Menace because he is over there in the Discord, and I'd love to hear whatever it is that he wants to say. So we're going to do that right now. So if you can't donate to the show with a Super Chat, or Streamlabs is the better place, top of the screen, or Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal.me/JoeCroninShow, then at least click that like button for me and give me that like if you can. And we'll find out if Jay Menace is actually on Discord. He may have gone somewhere, or maybe fell asleep, or it could be robbing a bank. I don't know. Hey, Jay.
Yo, what's the deal, Joe?
Get hard, brother. No, what's going on with you?
Yo, man, I actually, no bullshit, I forgot I was on Discord.
I thought that might happen. So, I'm just coming over real quick to, whatever a couple things you might want to say. Feel free to say it.
Yeah, so I hopped on Discord because I heard you talking about Hulk Hogan and Bret Hart and their title reigns back in the day. I just wanted to add a couple of nuances to that if possible.
Yeah.
The one thing that I do definitely agree with you with is the amount of reigns kind of becoming inflated, and that potentially moving wrestlers up say like a list of who's the best or who's better, more influential, whatever.
Right.
But I think a lot of people forget that, yeah, while Hogan may have only held the belt 4 or 5 times, don't forget about the WCW run. I know WWE isn't going to count that, but if you add those, then he's maybe 7, 8 time champion. And also, typically with Hogan's reigns, especially in the mid to late 80s, they were all relatively lengthy. You know what I mean? Like they weren't like he wasn't getting.
Yeah,
the
like
belt
you go back to
then,
Bruno Sammartino or people like that, who, people that had a belt for 3 years, but they only had 15 matches in 3 years. Whereas opposed to nowadays, someone might have the belt 3 different times in 2 years, but they've had 100 matches.
Exactly.
Yeah, I guess then it would come down to the matches, but it's just different. It's just a measuring stick you can't really measure by, and it's not. You almost want to go into the road dog thing that we were talking about earlier, where they don't matter. Like they don't really matter as much as you think. Championships don't matter as much as you think. Wins and losses don't matter as much as you think. All that matters is, were you a champion at one point? Because that means that potentially could mean that you were on top of the world. Sometimes people get championship pushes who aren't quite ready yet or aren't quite that over yet, though, and they become kind of like, there's a couple people in WWE that's happened to. I mean, I don't think that Bray Wyatt had a good run. I don't think Kevin Owens. I think there's a couple of people who didn't have great, they didn't feel in the end like, oh yeah, that guy won the world title.
Exactly.
And I
think, you know what too?
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
No, I just think that they did well at the time, and they thought, well, this guy's doing really good. He's like, if when you hit a 10 on a 10 on the scale, and that's when you go, wow, we got to give this guy a belt. Like Stone Cold Steve Austin, before he won the title, hit the 10-10 on the Richter scale. So they were like, yep, he's got to become the champion. And I feel like people like at certain times, like Seth Rollins maybe, but maybe not him, but more like Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, I don't know, Bray Wyatt, some of these guys, they get into a category of, okay, they're doing really pretty good, 7 or 8 out of 10 or 8.5 out of 10. Let's give them the belt, and maybe that will kind of solidify them a little more and push them into the 9 out of 10 category. And maybe they'll bring each other up, sort of thing. And sometimes that doesn't happen, and then it kind of wears the belt down a little bit and wears them down, and then certainly becomes a little bit of a forgettable champion. And I think there's a better list than the names I've been saying, but that's a good idea. But whereas Stone Cold was coming in winning the belt at a 10.
Oh, yeah. And the other thing that I wanted to potentially put on people's minds is I think sometimes we forget that the medium we consume genuinely was never really meant to be on syndicated television in the way that we see it now.
Right.
Wrestling, especially in its purest form, was always a house show type of deal. You know what I mean? So,
right.
Because like when you were talking about like the matches, when we start talking about these guys, the best way to start differentiating is start talking about the matches, the quality, the impact, things of that nature. And I feel like sometimes we forget that, back in the day, these guys probably say we seen the finished product of a match. We would say, well, hell, that was a pretty fucking good match. But, they had the luxury of basically doing that same match for 6 months and ironing out the kinks, just like people that we get to see nowadays with their character. Like we get to see them, sharpen out their character, start working on catchphrases, doing crowd work. We get to see that live. Whereas, back in the day, we would get that finished product. So I think that change and that dichotomy and how the actual wrestling is consumed and how available it is has ultimately affected the presentation in the regard of we have to, I don't want to say grade on the curve per se, but it's just different now. Like, and I think that even with all of the new minds and different influences that we have now, we still haven't fully gotten back to that point with the championships where like the either the person is over, the storyline is over, or maybe the belt is over because of the people that, are all vying for it per se.
Right.
But it doesn't always come across like sport or have that organic, big fight feel all the time. Am I making sense with that?
Oh yeah, no, for sure. It used to be like a magic trick, and now it's, and then some people want it to become the sport. Some people want it to become like, oh, he's got 50 wins and he's got 3 losses, and oh, he does this thing, and let's make it like a sport, And then other people are like, no, you got to keep it the way it's been. It's wrestling. You got to kayfabe, and I don't know. I think WWE is probably proving to be the example because AEW is an experiment a bit, and that didn't really work out that great on doing the sporty side of it, going too sporty.
And I agree with you, and I think that's because AEW they use it. Excuse me, they use it as a selling point rather than like keeping the actual product based in reality. And what I mean by that, and I'm sure the people out there already know, they kind of pick and choose when it's a sport and then back to being television. You know what I mean? Like
they bailed on it. They're not committed to doing that, but yet they still throw it out there. So they're not committed to it, but they're still playing with it. But I could see WWE, sort of saying, I like when WWE every once in a while. So if they're using it for, not even if they're using it for a reason, but if they just were to throw it out there once in a while, WWE goes, Roxanne doesn't have a victory in the entire month of January or whatever, or like, things like that. If they want to throw that out there to paint it in the story, I love that. But putting the numbers in there, I don't know. Now, I know we complained about the size of it, and the size of it was a little too big. That's what she said.
Yeah.
But at the Royal Rumble, the stats thing was really cool. Even though it was, I think it was too big. I think they could have lowered it a little bit or popped it up here or there. It was nice having that cool chart of how many people are in there, how many people are coming out, and to keep track of it like that. I think most people liked that. It was maybe just a little too big, but most people liked it. That was sporty, like, oh, there's a real thing going on here.
And to me, I think that I totally agree with you in that regard, especially on the AEW point of them not being very consistent with how they're trying to present the product. And you can't like start off doing that and then taper off. It just ends up hurting the product more than it should. And we end up seeing that a lot with them, where that happens more than it should because of the simple fact that people are like not able to be cohesive with the product. You end up having guys that you know what, even to the other point that you were saying with the Rumble, the thing that I think makes it harder to even do that is the fact that once you do start putting up those stats, or you do start mentioning those things, it almost ends up becoming telegraphed, where they'll tell you, oh man, this guy hasn't won a match in December since 2012. You're like, oh well, right. He's definitely about to win now. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So if they're gonna do it the whole way, so that way the story can actually be built. Whereas you're just kind of opening up and telling the story now, and it's like, oh well, we kind of know where this is going.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I don't know, because I might not know that. Like, and I could see making that mistake as a commentator. I could see, like, literally, like, you could be in the back at catering or something, and then maybe that wrestler is talking to you like, yo, what's up, Joe, or whatever, and I'm like, yeah, hey man, what's up? Hey Ben. I was like, what, you got a match tonight, right? And he's like, yeah, I got a match. What's going on? I'm like, oh, I don't know yet. They haven't told me the finish. Oh, okay, cool. I don't want to know. I'm gonna go do commentary. Hey, and then he'd be like, well, but I hope I'm winning, because I haven't won a match in 2025 yet. It's kind of weird. I'm like, oh shit, really? You haven't won? So like, I could see being on commentary and being like, earlier he's hungry tonight, and like, yeah, he's got a big blah, blah, blah. And then I could see throwing it out there that, well, I talked to him earlier, and his goal tonight is to change the pace because he hasn't won a match in 2025. I believe that's accurate, and you got to understand, So now if he loses, now I can say, like, man, that what a disappointment. Still undefeated, still unable to pick up a victory in 2025. It's got to be the pressure's going to be mounting for him. But, and then if he won, you could say, finally breaking, the curse of 2025. There is no curse anymore because he's going on to. And either way, I'm going to say either one of those things. But I can add to the moment based off of that information. Now, does WWE want to do that or no? I don't know, but maybe as a commentator, I would do it.
And I do think that would add an extra layer of nuance, but you have to be very careful when you're doing that because of it being
perceived,
you know, professional wrestling and having the glitz and the glamour. Like you're creating the story. So it's almost like we're asking them to have the foresight to do something like that, to create a story. That would be awesome if they did it. You know what I mean? But
the other problem is this: like, if you do that, and let's say they're trying to push this guy, they're about to push this guy, and over the last couple of weeks he's been getting over with a lot of people, then you really wouldn't want to go, oh, he's been undefeated all year. You don't want to. No, don't say that. Just say, like, here he comes, the exciting guy. You know, you don't want to go back in and give him a negative when the last couple of weeks there's been a few wins, like crowd-wise or positivity-wise, and now the company is thinking about pushing him, and maybe you don't know that, you know, but that's why you've got to tell the commentators that in the meetings and things, and for them to kind of have somewhat of an idea. Like, I know that in the back, this guy is about to have a little bit of a win streak or a little bit of a push or something is going on with him, so let's try to build him up a little bit. So I probably, in my head, would be like, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that he's lost all year long. You know, I'm not going to do that. But, you know, you could argue about it. I mean, that would be like if I was to sit down with like JR and Michael Cole and a couple other guys, and I'm Joe Cronin and I sit down at a table with them. That's the type of thing where even though I'm 40 years old, I don't really know the full answer of what most people would like to do in some of those situations. I have an idea of what I would do, and I would certainly make a decision and try to do the best thing, but I would be curious to ask guys like that, what do you think about that? What psychology? What's the right answer? Is there a right answer? Like, how do you know? And they might say, oh, absolutely, you do this. You don't do that. And I would love to hear that answer. I don't know it, but.
Yeah, because see, that would be my concern. It's like, okay, you know, you're booking them. It's not like this is a actual thing that's going on and it's organic to where that's just happening. So what is the you know, purpose of it? Not saying that you shouldn't do it at all, but we're in a point in time now where if you're trying to be as grounded and realistic as possible, I agree with your earlier point that you were saying earlier, like the monotony of the finishes needs to change. We need more disqualifications. We need more countouts. We need more, you know, not necessarily fuck finishes, but things that would happen in a fight. We need more ref stoppages. I think that's like a huge missing piece of wrestling. And I know that they feel like they shouldn't do that because they have a paying audience that paid to come and see conclusions. But I mean, a doctor stoppage gives you potentially months more of story to tell. What about a guy getting freaking knocked out in the ring? You didn't pin me. You did beat me, but you didn't pin me. You didn't beat me 1, 2, 3. You knocked me out. Right. And then the other guy's like, well, you know, like, why the hell would I want to fight you again? I literally knocked you out, bro. I fucking cold cocked you. Your fucking daughter was in the front row screaming and crying. She thought her daddy was dead. You know what I mean? Like, the shit writes itself. But it's just, are you willing to, you know, step out of the normal wrestling tropes and zeitgeist and do something that, you know, maybe doesn't get exactly your typical veteran mind to agree with you? You know, is that, like you were saying, is that bad to do? I don't know.
I don't know.
That's actually it's a really damn good point you brought up, because like, is that a bad thing to do? We don't really know.
Yeah,
like
I don't think so. I think it's the, you know, if you know what's going on. But I always think the right thing to do is just what you feel, because I always have done it on the independents. And I think there was, I've said this before, but there was one time where I started going somewhere with my own story of what's happening to try to like say it, and it kind of like didn't work out well because they had something else was going on that I didn't know about. But a lot of the other times it worked out great. And one of the reasons is because I knew what they were doing, and then I could create the idea of it. And then sometimes I didn't know what they were doing, but neither did they, but I just went with it and it worked out exactly how you would think. So I don't know, I just think just go with what your instinct is. and build that story, paint that picture, and also do it on screen. And when you mess it up, you got to go right into why you're, like when a commentator messes things up and they go, you know, oh, I don't, you know, oh, he nailed him or whatever, and then the pin is like 1 and the guy kicks right out. And like either the other commentator or you can say, wow, he kicked out much faster. You know, I thought he knocked him out there, but when I looked at it on my other monitor, you know, he just missed it. You know, he missed it completely, and now whatever the hell. And you just start sort of rebuilding the story or redriving the narrative. And I think, you know, I've seen Graves do that recently. Cole has done it. So, you know, I like it when announcers do that. The worst is when clearly somebody missed or something went wrong and they just don't acknowledge it. And sometimes you can't because the story is so dependent on it. You've got to go with it anyway, and that is understandable.
1,000,000%.
100%. But like, if it's just in the match and it looks bad, you can obviously say like, I don't think he got all of it. And that's the best thing is when you say I don't think he got all of it or I don't think he got it right, and then the cover happens most of the time. And as long as it's not the finish, you know, then when it's a 2 count, you can be like, yeah, you know, you can see why if he had hit him flush with that the way he wanted to, it would have been over right there. But just the fact that he missed and he clipped the shoulder instead of the head, you know, he was able to kick out there. And those are the mistakes that can happen in a match like this. 2 inches off, you know, from winning this match. Now hit him with it again, maybe. And we, you know, that I just love that realism.
But see, that's like beautiful storytelling that, like we were saying, that comes organically from what's going on in front of you. So, like, for example, I know this is way out of there. How do you think wrestling would fare? It doesn't necessarily even have to be WWE. Hypothetical wrestling promotion would fare with like rounds in terms of when they're having a match, they have not necessarily a time limit, but I guess you could have a time limit if it goes like to a draw per se. But I'm saying more like rounds, almost like a boxing match or like UFC. Do you think that the product would suffer from it maybe being too stagnated, like the start and stop?
I don't. Yeah, you can't start. I think wrestling is all about like the momentum, I feel like, and the momentum and the flow of the match. Rounds would just destroy that. I would never want that. I mean, unless it was, you know, a particular match where they were doing something like, I want you in a 10 stages match or a 10 rounds match, and basically just, you know, like 3 stages of hell. You know, that sort of like every 5 minutes or something, the match changes, or like every 5 minutes the clock resets, and whoever has the most pins. So if somebody pins somebody, the round's over, it moves to the next round. And if the clock runs out, it moves to the next round. So the wrestling never stops, but the rounds keep ticking. And in the first round, the first 2 rounds are regular. The next 2 rounds are a cage. The next 2 rounds are tables or something. And the wrestlers can adjust as the rounds happen. And the match is made to be a brutal, just crazy match of, you know, 5-minute, 3-minute rounds. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. So 30-minute match. So a 3-minute, 10-round, 30-minute match where every 2 stages it changes to something else, and the wrestlers, you know, are involved in that. So if nobody puts somebody through a table, then nobody gets anything, and it moves on. So you could get to the 9th round that becomes like a first blood match, and you bust the guy open. And now it's 1-0, and now we go to the 10th round. And I think that could be a chaotic, crazy, fucking awesome thing to do. And the match never stops. It keeps going. 10 rounds of change. I don't know what you would call it. 10 rounds of change, 10 rounds of hell. 10 rounds of hell sounds really good. That would be really cool. So 3 stages of hell, but instead it's 10 rounds of hell. No one's ever seen something like that. That sounds fun to me right now. I'm getting excited about it. And so, you know, and again, like I said, you may not, in the regular first 6 minutes of a regular match, nobody gets any pins whatsoever. And then maybe in the 3rd and 4th round where it becomes a tables match, each guy puts a guy through a table, and now it's 1-1. Man, that would be fun. I'd like to see that.
You know what? I actually got to say that does sound pretty fucking good. Like, to be honest, just the craziness that would ensue from that, I can totally see them doing that.
Yep.
That could work.
10 rounds of hell. Joe. All right, I'm DMing Road Dogg tonight. 10 rounds of hell to open up SmackDown. Let's go.
And then finally, we won't have like some old fart years after being like, God, I hated I invented that match. You know, they're just using it like at least it'll be you. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but like we could tolerate you saying it, but it's when somebody that, yeah, you know, I really wish that I would have never seen that fucking ladder match in Calgary. Like I just hate myself for it. Like, oh, shut up, bro. Like,
yeah.
Like you can't possibly fucking mean that, bro. Like, stop.
Well, I think I'll let you get out of here, Jay Menace. Anything else you wanted to say before I ride off into the sunset, I guess?
Nah, man. Shouts out to everybody that's tuning in. I've seen a lot of donations. D Welsh going crazy. To all the people out there, I love y'all. It's amazing as always, and I'll see y'all on Friday.
All right, baby. We'll see you Friday night.
Well, I meant to say Saturday. Sorry, I'm still late.
Yeah, it's okay. Well, we'll see you on Monetize This.
Yeah.
All right,
now
baby.
I'll be here Friday too, since I said.
Okay, you can go. I'll be on. Unless I find the job, I'll be on.
I got a job for you.
Oh, fucking, I'll blow you. It'll be the first Friday I don't get a paycheck. That'll be really weird on Friday. All right, I'll see you, Jay. Jay Menace, former Monetize This champion, Jay Menace, doing great stuff right there. Thank you, Jay Menace. Great to have you here. You sex beast. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I'll probably be on I'll be on as much as I can, as long as since I have all the time in the world on my hands. Okay. All right, let me hang up on Discord the right way. And let me just fix this. Fixing my screen. Okay, there it goes. All right. Thank you, Jay Menace. Oh shit, hold on a second. I fucked up. Well, I messed it up. I'm going to read the chat in 1 second. I know that you guys are saying stuff in the chat, so I do want to read your chat. But give me 1 second and I'll read the chat. Okay. There we go. Oh shit. Look out. My goodness.
$9 for a fuck. Someone donated 9. I'm getting hard. I got 9 inches inside of your wife. $9. I'm shooting my semen to the ceiling. I'm coming and my balls have turned blue. $9. Suck my dick. Oh my god, yeah.
Thanks a lot. Fuck Hogan Bubba. NWO style.
Wow, fuck Hulk Hogan, 93 Dill, dropping the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Thank you for the $9, man. Hey, man, you dropped 900. I'm going to go get a bottle of whiskey, and I'm going to stay up all night, just so you know. And I'm just kidding. Well, no, I'm not, but I will. I got a bottle. I happened to be gifted a bottle of this wine that was aged in whiskey, apparently, or something like that. But so the wine is like 16% alcohol because they did something with it in whiskey or whatever. So I grabbed a thing of whiskey, and I'm going to try the wine, and then I'm going to dump more whiskey into it, I think. But I'm not sure. So one of these nights, whether it's one of these, any night could be, I don't know, whenever I'm feeling it, and I'm going to start doing shots and just fucking unload myself. It might be this Saturday night on Monetize This. Maybe we'll do shots, and we'll do them. We'll do the whole bottle if we gotta. But man, that's gonna be some hell of a hangover because I get hangovers like crazy now. So, but now that I have no job, fuck it. F it. We got to find that clip of my idea, man. That 10 stages of hell, that's got to happen. It's got to happen, Road Dogg. King Hueco Mundo, Manny Gonzalez. What's up, Manny? How you doing, man? What's up, D. Welsh? D. Welsh has been an all-star tonight, dropping a $100 bomb. Thank you, 93 Dill. Seabass the Beast as well. But yeah, so again, NXT, I didn't think it was great tonight. I thought that was fairly like childlike. A lot of it was very goofy. I didn't buy into a bunch of it. I don't think Starks or Saints has done anything yet really that's surpassed or made me think he's any better. Unlike Ethan Page. Ethan Page has clearly come across as a more serious, like, different guy than AEW. But Ricky Saints, Starky Boy, has not. Something about the Revolution, something, what does that mean? I don't know. So can he get better? I hope he can for his sake. But right now I'm seeing a lot more of the same, which didn't impress me in the first place. So I was wrong about Ethan Page. I was dead wrong about Ethan Page. But right now, I'm not looking wrong about Ricky. And that's bad for Ricky. So Ricky, you gotta do something, brother. You got to get yourself out of this besides being Mr. Fancy Pants San Francisco boy. Because that ain't going to get it done. So, hopefully he can pull that shit together and figure it out. I really do hope so. And remember, guys, if there's videos and things you guys want to send me on Twitter or on X, I got to still call it Twitter. I don't. Just send it to me on X. I'm at Meta World Online. I know that's weird, but it's a Meta World Online. Or you can just, if you look up Joe Cronin Show, you'll find me probably, but the tag is at Meta World Online. And you can send me videos and send me stuff there. Lots of people do. Lots of people DM me and send me things. And it's just probably one of the better places to send me stuff to get me to see it fairly quickly. Owen Schroyer from InfoWars was, did he get attacked today?
All shows on it.
I want to see it.
What rights don't you have?
I don't have the right to kill a person that I'm growing inside my body.
That's true. You don't have the right to kill a person. That's true.
What don't you have?
I have the exact same rights you have.
No, you have more. Your existence is based on genocide.
Are you a dictator douchebag?
This is whenever the InfoWars guys go places, that's funny. Does he get attacked?
Who's that?
You know who that is. You know exactly who it is.
Am I with dictator douchebag?
Yeah, are you?
Who's that?
You know who that
I'm here with my cameraman.
You know who that is, Mr.
Yeah, they
SS.
won't talk about their ancestors, right?
What? Who's Mr. SS?
Because they certainly were not born
I see
here.
your brown shirt. You don't fool me. And your little Nazi haircut.
Hey, where did you get
Nazi haircut? But he has hair. I thought Nazi guys were like the bald guys. Like, I'm going bald. Do I have a Nazi haircut? What the hell? What the hell's a Nazi haircut? I mean, like, I could see if you had, like, the Hitler stash, right? Like, if you got the Hitler stash, it's like, okay, yes. You know, Hitler had a certain mustache, you know, and it takes a very confident individual to rock the Hitler mustache in 2000, you know, whatever. Although we should be over it by now that anybody wants to wear it. But when you see it, you're like, Hitler. That's all you can think of if you see it is fucking Hitler. But we're running out of wrestling content for the night, so now I guess we'll watch this because it's funny.
Get that wonderful hat.
I got it at the Women's March back in Washington, D.C. because, look, man, I'm doing the work, and I'm going to these protests, and I'm making my voice heard, and that's where I got this inclusive hat.
Yeah, keep filming this crazy.
That guy has... I feel bad for him. That guy has something wrong with him. Poor guy. Poor sweetie. I wouldn't even put him on camera after that. I would just said, oh, okay, we'll see you later, man. Good. Awesome. Rock on. Because he seems like he's got something wrong. Well, it's real. It happens. You know, a lot of dictators out there have done it. Our country's done it.
Don't touch my... Let go of the mic. Sir, let go of the mic.
So, I guess this guy assaulted him, and then when he finally had to, like, punch his arm down, The guy called him a fascist. Oh, my God, bro. Thank God the cowbell thing stopped, though. That is the worst.
Let go of the mic.
Oh, finally the police showed up to help Owen.
Come on, you can do better than that. Come on. So let me just do something real quick. So this is what happens in cults. When you actually have someone that's willing to talk to you. I'm sure you have an X account.
Now, it's funny because the military guy reached in to, like, stop this guy from screaming in Owen Troyer's face, but I mean, it is freedom of speech and they're in the public, and if this guy wants to, scream in someone's face, he can, which is funny because this actually, even though this guy assaulted him earlier, so that guy did assault Owen, so that's not okay. But the funny thing is, the cop is kind of stepping in almost, but there's really nothing he can do about this. But the guy did assault him earlier, and now he's putting his fingers near his face, so that's getting a little borderline there. But I don't know.
I'm sure you have an X account.
I don't look at X. I quit X when that prick bought it because it's like a Nazi platform.
I bet he's still on it.
It's a Nazi platform?
Yeah, it certainly is. You should check it out.
Is this your litter?
No.
You sure? Because it looks like your litter. You want it?
No.
Sure. So.
Yeah, come on, man.
There you go, buddy.
So you just littered. What about Musk? What
Oh my God.
don't you like about Musk?
Awful person.
He's also a thug, and he's not elected.
So what about all the people that aren't elected?
They're cowards.
Should we get rid of anybody who's not elected?
You.
No.
Sure. So.
Yeah, come on, man.
There you go, buddy.
So you just littered. What about Musk? What don't you like about Musk?
Awful person.
He's also a thug, and he's not elected.
So what about all the people that aren't elected?
They're cowards.
Should we get rid of anybody who's not elected?
You.
Can you tell me what you don't like about Doge? Get a good one in. There you go. That's much better.
Ignore the troll.
You can't ignore me.
Ignore the troll.
It's impossible to ignore me. Are you the cult leader?
Anything out of my face.
Are you the cult leader? Yeah. You want to see what it's like to deal with discrimination and hate? Be a conservative at a liberal event.
Racist, go home. Racist, go home. Let's get down to business to defeat the Hun.
Wow. Wow. I don't know how Trump could have won. How could it have happened?
They send us daughters when we ask for sons. We won't forget. We won't forget. January 6th. We won't forget. January 6th. We won't forget.
Wow, that cop's got some really red hair. Wow, look at him. He's got some Conan O'Brien hair. I love it. That's my type of hair. I mean, I don't really have red hair, but, my son has very bright red carrot hair like that. Well, he's got more strawberry. What am I saying? It used to be like that. It turned more strawberry blonde. It's nice hair, though. Nice hair, Copy. Nice hair, Piggy Pants. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
January 6th.
Damn, he got some nice hair, bro. That is blinging, that red hair.
Came for the immigrants.
Yeah, Rostaf's probably in this crowd getting arrested somewhere.
And I didn't do anything.
Nobody's coming for immigrants. Nobody's coming for immigrants. Nobody's coming for immigrants. Nobody's coming. So they requested for me to leave.
Jesus. Bro, you could not... Listen, I like man on a street stuff, and I like doing man on a street stuff. I don't know if you could pay me to be there. Well, actually, now you could. You could. Alex, call me. $5 or $6 grand a month. I'll do anything.
That area.
insist, and you're sick. Just stop, please.
Go ahead. Here you go. Have the mic.
Stop, man.
Oh, don't say have the mic. The other guy tried to have the mic, and you said to stop touching his mic. So don't tell him to have the mic. Say, you can say anything you want. What do you want to say? Tell me. Maybe I'll learn something. But don't tell him to have the mic. Jesus, the last guy had the mic, took the mic almost. Good Lord. Guys, what did you think of NXT, AEW, wrestling news? Anything you want to talk about, leave it in the comments. I'm reading the comments, but we're also just enjoying this because it looks like it's kind of funny.
Just give it up.
Okay.
Just give it up.
I want to say that I love your reporter cosplay. Maybe you'll get to be a real one day. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Let me be perfectly clear. They are the ones that invited me up there. Yeah. I know. All I have to do is stand here, and they cannot help the hate. They cannot help but hate me. You guys show the world how loving and tolerant you are. Yeah. I can't wait till this footage comes out and everybody can see how hate-filled this movement is. When you see what it's like for a conservative to walk through a crowd of leftists, you're going to see true hate.
Look, it's easy to laugh at these people, but this is a population literally brainwashed by decades.
And I love dick. Have I told you guys that? Listen, I'm coming to you live. Listen, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in the bathroom in a minute, and I'm going to strangle my snake. And what I mean by that is I'm going to really push. I'm going to push on my cock really hard. And I'm going to hope lots of different stuff comes out of it. And maybe it dribbles in the toilet. Maybe some of it dribbles on the floor either way. But, this is what these leftists do, And that's why we send Owen down there, and they almost want to eat him, cannibalize him alive and everything. I think they'd be happy if he got killed. I mean, they could probably shoot him in the head, and they'd all just cheer. And that's crazy. Like, if you did that at a conservative rally to a Democrat or a liberal, people would come into your defense and try to help you. Like, even though you're a liberal, even if you said you hope they all die. By the way, don't forget, Alex Jones is going to be in the gym next week, pumping iron, and I'm going to make you suck my balls. Wow, okay, InfoWars is definitely getting really weird nowadays. Ever since the lawsuits and the millions, billions, and whatever they're supposed to pay that's unreasonably insane, boy, man, they have really changed their platform quite a bit. But I can't wait to see that Alex Jones workout video. That looks crazy. I'm excited, and I hope you guys are too. That being said, it's 1 a.m. I really, 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 really have had a great time tonight, and I thank everybody for subscribing to the channel and for being here and for hanging out with me. We had 180 people here at a late notice out of nowhere that I did this stream tonight. I really appreciate you guys all being here. D. Welsh is the top donator to support the channel. Thank you, bro. It means the world, obviously, especially with me, losing the job. So the donations mean even more than you can imagine, bro. So thank you for that so much, D. Welsh. I don't know what's going to happen, but we'll see. But that is a bomb of a dono. Thank you, sir. And everybody else who donated, including that last one by 93 Dill. Thank you guys for becoming members. And if you want to check out the Patreon, patreon.com/JoeCroninShow. You can support paypal.me/JoeCroninShow. And all the places, hopefully, to go. TikTok, Twitter, X, Instagram, Facebook, Butterfly, whatever the fuck. There's so many things. And tomorrow is, what's tomorrow? Wednesday. So tomorrow's Wednesday. We'll have some stuff out for you in the day. And then we'll have the AEW Dynamite review live after AEW Dynamite tomorrow. Alex Jones looking like Dana White. Yeah, well, I think they've been doing a lot of stuff together. So it's probably part of it. Thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks for being here. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow. And if you missed most of the stream or something, go back, watch the whole thing. Talked about a good amount of stuff. See you tomorrow.